107.3. 0870 90 90 973.
Just rushing madly up the stairs. And now I'm back with sound. So that Naomi Campbell, she sounds like a nice woman, doesn't she? I was going to do a story about her last week. I went for a sound effect there, but I couldn't get it in time. It's just impossible. I thought, I need Carol saying no. But then the process of actually getting it on the air was too complicated, so I gave up halfway through. I can't do it. So, where was I? I've lost my place. We haven't even started yet. Oh, yeah, Naomi Campbell. I was going to do a story about her last week, but I ran out of time. You know, all the important things we have to pack into this show. Oh, many and innumerate. But fortunately, she continues to be in the news. God bless you, Mom. So I'll do her again in a minute, but the first thing I'd like to say is, yo, Blair. What an idiot, that man. Can you believe that he is the leader of the free world? Is that scary or what? Did you see... Did you see... It's a shame that ends so suddenly, but he bursts into the next song, which is inappropriate for this, because it's like a funeral march or I don't know, something camp, probably. And there's no campery on this show. Not now, not ever, never. Okay. Did you see... I forgot his name is, George W. was sitting at the table talking to Tony. Tony was being very attentive, leaning over his shoulder, while George W. was talking with his mouth full, stuffing bread in there. That was absolutely incredible. That man is the leader of the free world, can't even eat with his mouth closed. Did you see that, Luce?
I missed that one.
Oh, you should have got it on the website. It was funny.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah, it was... Yeah, fantastic.
It was embarrassing, because here's a man, like a grown-up, who's eating like a 5-year-old at the table. I mean, what kind of a person can't eat with their mouth closed?
Yo, Blair.
He's just a dope. Yo, Blair. Not even Yo Tone. Blair, he calls him. And why is Tony Blair giving him a jumper? What's that about?
What do you give the man who's got everything?
Nothing. Nothing at all. A little bit of respect. That's it. A jumper. That's a bit odd, isn't it? And there's no indication of what the jumper was actually like. Was it peach, perhaps? With an argyle check? Or, a nice pink, maybe? Something you could wear playing golf, perhaps? Why is he giving him a jumper? Like he hasn't got enough jumpers. He's got teams of people going out and getting him jumpers. The entire CIA is on the case as we speak. He's probably got jumpers. He's probably got rooms of... Like, that woman who was the heir to the bloke who did Dynasty and all those stupid programmes. She had 2 gift-wrapping rooms in her 1,000-room house. 2... I mean, have you ever heard of anybody with a gift-wrapping room in their house? They give so many gifts to so many people who come round that they need an actual room, a dedicated chambre for the wrapping of the presents. Not just 1, 2. 2. And here's the second gift-wrapping room, in case the first one's full of bows, or whatever it might be. Similarly, George Bush has probably got roomfuls of jumpers from, ardent admirers. Tony's given him a jumper. And he said, yeah, you picked it out yourself. And Tony says, yeah, I knitted it. And that's not too far, from a believable truth. Sitting there at home, clackety, 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 clack, clack. His wife's telling him to come to bed. Not now, dear. But it was just the way that he was eating with his mouth full, and he hadn't swallowed what was in his mouth before he kept shoveling more bread in while talking to Prime Minister Tone. He's just a dope. He should be forcibly removed from office. He's an idiot. Anyway, at least Naomi Campbell isn't running the free world. I'm going to show you this picture during the break. This is a picture of a man holding a baby, which was on the front page of the Telegraph today, and it was almost like a quiz. Guess who's holding the baby? And you could tell who's holding the baby from the hands of the man what's doing the holding. And it's a little worrying. From afar, that just looks like a man with a cute little baby. Oh, the little baby! Women's reactions to babies. Like, you just want to... Lucy, don't you just want to go, coochie, coochie, coo?
Oh, I wouldn't mind a little cuddle, yeah.
Like that. But, and it does look cute. Oh, the little thing. It's already in stripy pyjamas like it's going to jail.
Some babies are quite ugly, though, aren't they, when they're born?
Well, when they're born, yes.
Yeah.
Just when they get cleaned up afterwards.
Yeah, but even for a while.
Kind of look cherubic.
Yeah.
Well, babies, they're like human beings, but smaller. Have you noticed?
Yeah, they look like sort of little baby gerbils, some of them.
That's awful. But it's the hands of the man that's doing the holding that's the thing. And, of course, they blew this part up. And I wonder if they did it deliberately. It was the Daily Telegraph. Probably yes. They saw a detail in the picture that was missed by other newspapers that gave the full picture. And it's just really upsetting. Every time I look at it, I think, oh. Anyway, let's go for the first one, which is in Chester. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, Nick.
Stephen.
Nick, I'm going to give you a choice here. Leader of the free world, George Bush or Chris from Crouch End?
And what's the choice?
George Bush.
Yeah, no, I know what the choice is, but what am I voting for?
Leader of the free world.
Yeah, but what am I voting for?
Either Chris
Yeah.
from Crouch End.
Oh, I see.
or
Who
George
should
W.
should
Bush.
be the leader of the free world?
Yeah.
Right. Who's Chris in Crouch End?
Oh, you'll know soon. Don't you remember the woman who rings you up?
That sounds like a threat.
Don't you remember the woman that rings you up every week and finds something stupid to complain about?
Oh, great. Is it her? Excellent. Well, I can't wait for her call, because I'm ready for a fight.
Anyway, I thought a couple of interesting news stories this week that I could, some light-hearted ones. That really gets me, the language newspapers use. You know, they really... Prescott suffered massive new humiliation, like he isn't already humiliated.
He's going to be running the country shortly. Does anybody believe that?
What?
And the other one was Doherty in detox again.
I actually went for a no there, and it came out what? Explain that if you can.
And the other one was Doherty in detox bid. That was another surprising headline.
Isn't he dead yet?
No, he's still going, apparently. He's going to have something put in his arm to give him intravenous drugs.
Yeah, that's what he needs, more drugs, yeah.
But there was one other funny one as well about...
You know what? I should take more drugs. I should be... if only I took heroin and cocaine in vast amounts, my career would be in orbit right now.
Yeah, but you got Lucy's tea, haven't you?
I do, yeah. Actually, I do, yeah. It's the only caffeine I have all week, and it sends me a bit loopy.
The other story...
Like, you know, like a cat when it's just been fed, it kind of like runs around and around and around and up and down the stairs and up and down the curtains and around and like there's mad staring looking. It's like, that's me right now, yeah.
Our cat's too fussy. It decides whether it likes your food or not.
That's nice, but we're talking about me.
Anyway, another story. Soccer star Wayne Rooney has launched a legal battle...
Oh, God. What's Drain doing now?
Well, somebody's taken away...
His rattle?
His website, somebody's... years and years ago, when Wayne Rooney was just a rising star...
Yeah, WayneRooney.com and .co.uk they bought.
Yeah, and now he's going to be taking them to court.
Yeah, sue them.
I don't think he's going to be representing
himself.
It's in the hands of his lawyers.
He's going to get Zinedine Zidane as a character witness.
But don't you find newspapers, because I know you said this before, they use such language like massive new humiliation, devastated, shocking, and so on. I mean, and the pictures as well. John Prescott, if you saw the picture on the Mirror of him, it's like they've caught him at the worst possible
I know.
moment.
They have files of it, though. I mean, there's a man who doesn't look good from any angle. Maybe the back. But every single picture you see of John Prescott, it just makes his whole world worse. Does he ever smile? Ever? What does John Prescott look like when he's smiling?
Look, you remember when you spoke about
Not even his secretary has seen that.
Do you remember when you spoke about our ex-England manager, and I can't even remember his name now?
Sven.
Oh, yes, that's the one.
Bicycling Sven, yeah, seen out riding his bike, yes, getting on his bike and...
I mean, they took a picture of him at the worst possible moment talking to his plants, wasn't he?
Well, he was... According to the people that had taken the picture with a long telephoto lens from offshore... why they were there, perhaps they hoped that he was going to have sex right there on the beach. When was the last time you had sex on the beach there, Lucy? What goes into that? It's like vodka and triple sec and... I could do with a pint of that right now.
Hasn't it got a bit of tequila in it, though? I never liked that bit.
You don't like tequila?
No, I hate it.
Oh, tequila's the best.
Oh, if I just smell it, it makes me retch. But that's probably because I overdid it when I was younger.
I love the smell of tequila in the morning.
Do it?
Tastes like victory.
Anyway,
If you
Nick.
like what you're hearing, tell someone you know.
This programme, Lucy's going to be, I don't know, how would you put it? She's going to be pouring out stuff that what we didn't know. Do you want to set this up?
Well, it's things you didn't
How come
know.
you're louder than I am?
Oh, am I? Oh, that's bad, isn't it? How about that?
Oh, that's much better.
I can whisper.
Yes, whisper.
Okay.
We'll pretend that we're not here. Whisper, whisper.
Well, the idea is
Drop
things...
the microphone. We can pretend we're on Big Brother.
Even more.
We'll get evicted.
Do you think we might go off air if we keep whispering like this?
Yes, that's right, yeah. The transmitter will kick in and we'll suddenly be 24 hours a day solid rock music. Yeah. What does the transmitter kick in with, by the way, if we go off the air? Not speech, surely.
I think it's the best of
Yeah, it's probably an old Steve Allen show or something.
Oh, the best of
from
Steely Dan?
1984.
I'd like to hear that.
Well, if we stop talking for 25 seconds, it'll happen.
Righto. Go on then. What was it you were going to say?
So the idea is
Yes.
to give you the odd piece of information that you might not have known before.
Right.
Of course, you might know.
Okay, tickle my fancy.
Okay. Who do you think invented road humps?
Road humps. Ah, that's an excellent question. Road humps. What, the name of the person?
The name of the person.
Is it a famous person?
Yes, it is.
Huh. Trevor Sinclair. Did you see
No.
the bike that he's come up with? Oh my God. He's come up with this bike which has wheels. You remember that silly scooter thing that the runners used to go from office to office in Soho?
Yeah.
Like they could walk faster. And they had wheels about the size of... They're not even as big as a wagon wheel. They're about as big as a Fry's chocolate... What do they call those? It was covered in chocolate with a biscuit base
And
a thin layer of mint, like a mint fondant
Club.
on top.
No,
Club-
it's a Viscount.
Club's with a thick one.
Or a Viscount.
A
biscuit.
Viscount.
Viscount biscuit, wasn't it?
Viscount?
Viscount, was it? Viscount?
Really? That doesn't ring a
It
bell.
had a green wrapper on it, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Viscount, isn't it?
I want one now.
I used to have them
Not
for
that we
school.
want to mention any brand names on the air,
No.
but a Viscount, was it?
I'm pretty sure.
Righto. Yeah, but don't they do those anymore? I don't want. You know, I used to eat club biscuits like I should be put in a special needs class. I used to eat the chocolate all the way around the outside first because that came away quite successfully when you bit it with your teeth without actually touching. And to eat it successfully, you had to remove all of the chocolate without breaking into the actual biscuit part, which had to remain full and complete before you actually ate the bit. Well, actually throw it away, because that's not the best part at all, is
And
it?
it's soggy by then anyway.
And so you had to eat around it, and each end first had the thickest part, and that came off the most easily, and then you would nibble, like a little rabbit, all the way down each side. And then, this was the hard part, taking the thinner chocolate layer off the top of it, which sometimes came off all in one, all the way over, and that was the feeling of success when that. But
I
occasionally,
trust this was when you were a small boy, not a couple of years ago.
well, if I ate one now, this is exactly how I'd eat it.
Would you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and then you'd have to use the bits that remained on the top. You'd have to scrape off with your teeth. Of course, then there's the bottom, and that's virtually so thin it's a see-through layer of chocolate. Now, you could lick it off. It wouldn't come off if you bit it off all in one piece. It's too thin. So you could lick it off, but that would seem to be strange behaviour.
Yes. Well, I think all this sounds quite strange as an adult.
And as a Viscount, you'd have to nibble around the fondant part so that you get only biscuit with the fondant, in exactly the same quantity of biscuit as fondant, and then you could pop it all in your mouth.
Do we
I have
never
a weird
tempted to just
relationship.
shove it in?
No,
Oh.
weird relationship with food. I must play with it.
Yes. Would you wouldn't do this in front of people, though, would you?
Not now.
When did you stop?
When they let me out. So road humps. It
Yeah.
wasn't the same bloke who invented cat's eyes.
No, it wasn't. In fact, road humps were invented a lot later than you might have thought.
What year?
I can't tell you the year because it's the person, but I can only tell you because of the person that I assumed road humps had been around for. How long would you think? Maybe 30, 40 years?
The 60s.
Okay. Shall I tell you
The
who it
Sleeping Policeman. Well, no, this is curious now. So he's a famous person that invented road humps. Mm-hmm. And is he an inventor?
Well, I wouldn't say so, would you, Clive?
No.
No.
He's not an inventor. He must be, he must have been a policeman of some sort. Like a famous policeman.
No.
He wasn't that Welsh bloke, Nostrum or Nostradamus or whatever they...
No.
He's got a blog now. Have you got a blog? Oh, blimey. Everyone's writing their life story on the net like anyone cares. What's his name? Richard Brunstrom. I'll read that in a while as well. So we've got the Naomi Campbell thing. We've got the guy holding the baby, which is really scary, considering what it means to us. And, hey, the Sultan's birthday party. The Sultan of Brunei had a birthday party. Guess how many people sat down to dinner? I'll tell you that in a minute. So anyway, okay, let me ask Louise. Hey, Louise.
Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm all right, dear. Do you know who invented the road hump?
No.
And did it have to be called a hump?
I know, it's weird.
All right, Lucy, surmise me.
It was Kenneth Clark.
Ken Clark?
Yep.
Hisself?
Ken Clark.
The Ken
invented-
Clark?
Yeah. See, I bet you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. How could he invent that?
Well, I can't tell you that.
He was
I can only give you the facts.
he was prostrate on the pavement after a long lunch, and people said, "Hey, you know what that looks like?"
That'll slow us down.
Yes, that's right. So, Louise,
Yeah.
what's up?
Right, I'm just been thinking, when you were talking about Bush and Blair, I'm actually worried about the future of this planet.
Yeah.
Because the celebrities who do crazy things, and children idolise celebrities, I want to be like them, so I think it's okay to do crazy things. And then there's Bush and Blair. Bush is like a kid, and Blair just follows him.
Yeah, well, he has to, really, doesn't he? I mean, he can't... he can't say boo to Bush, because he might invade us.
Yeah, like nuke us or something, but... Yeah. Why have we got two of them? Like, George Bush is, like, one of the most powerful... Well, he must be one of the most powerful people, because he's in charge of making that.
Well,
And
I don't know. I mean, do you think that he actually is? I find it hard to believe that a man that stupid and that lost for words and that...
Do you think it's an act he puts on, though?
No, and that short of brain is actually running America. He can't be. He must just be the charming figurehead, because he does charm in abundance on an individual level. I mean, I've seen him sort of josh with reporters and so on, and but what he doesn't do is speak off the top of his head very well. So he's all about deep South hospitality, but actually running things, I find it hard to believe.
It's frightening if he is.
It's the scary people who are sitting behind him that are doing all the running
Yeah,
things.
it's a good job, actually, because I don't know what... Well, probably blows all up or something.
I mean, do you remember the Mad comic with Alfred E. Newman, the guy who had the gap tooth, and the phrase was "What me worry"? That's who George Bush reminds me of, the dumb kid on the front of a Mad magazine. And I've got bemused looks all round. Nobody remembers Mad magazine.
I don't. I'm only 18 though, so...
Oh, right. Well, you have to go to a comic shop. When was the last time you went to a comic shop? I'll guess. Never, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, never. Not now, not ever, never.
I buy magazines, but I don't buy comics.
You buy what?
I buy magazines.
Okay. The supermarket checkout magazines that are full of lots of people that no one's ever heard of.
No, it's... Well, I guess it is full of a lot of people that no one's ever heard of, because it's a dance music magazine, so...
Have you got one to hand?
Yeah.
Right, read out what's on the front cover.
Front cover. The 50 most influential dance albums ever.
The 50 what? What?
Most influential dance albums ever.
The most influential dance albums ever.
Yep.
Okay. Well, let's guess number one. Number one would be dance albums ever.
No.
No what?
It's left field. That's at number one. But
Right.
right.
That's probably not the correct answer. I would say Chic. Something like that.
Yeah.
Or Donna Summer's Greatest Hits. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then Ferry Corsten.
Who?
Exactly.
There's a lot of names, and I'll be going, who? And I read the same thing with the tabloids. I've got no idea who anybody is anymore. Are you switched in? Are you clued in? Plugged in, Lucy? Do you who? What was that name again?
Ferry Corsten.
Mary Carston.
Ferry Corsten.
I still don't know what you're saying. Faye Carston?
Yeah, exactly. I won't worry about it too much.
Right.
And you can win a trip to Dance Valley and hang out at Creamfields.
What kind of a magazine is this?
It's a dance music one. That's probably
Oh, right. Well, that's not what we want. It's a specialist dance magazine. I want one of these, like, Heat, or one of these magazines that...
Yeah, that's what I said to you.
Yeah.
I like my house music, so I'm not into all the bitchy stuff. It's just boring.
She's reading out the front cover of a house music magazine.
No, it's
we're
dance
totally bemused and clueless. No, we want minor celebrities with cellulite and having sex with people they shouldn't oughta. Not dance magazines full of people taking drugs.
No, it's...
Oh, yes, it is. You're only 18.
I'd never read that, though.
Never been to a club, have you?
Yeah.
Anyway, Louise, I've got to go, but thanks a lot.
All right, see you.
Ta-da!
Bye.
And there was it was a bit of a shame because I was going to get the audio of this Bush and Blair thing but there was so much background noise we'd have had to put it through some kind of expensive CIA computer just to remove all the background noise to hear George W. going off on one. But he wasn't the only politician to be caught out with a microphone on. At a 2005 summit with Germans and Russians, Jacques Chirac was recorded saying, "Of the British, you can't trust people who cook as badly as that." That's awful. He said, after Finland, it's the country with the worst food. Well, what do Finnish people eat? Like roll mops. Herring in pickles and vodka. That's it. No wonder they're killing themselves over there. It's permanently in the dark, and all they got to eat is fish in vinegar. It's revolting. The Spanish politician José Bono had to apologise for calling Tony Blair a total bleep head during this shows like a carry on to the stand-up that we just had. Every other word's a bleep. A total bleep head during a radio debate, apparently believing he was off the air. The Spanish politician José Bono called Tony Blair a bleep head. You getting what I mean by bleep head?
No, can you give us a letter?
Richard?
Okay, yeah.
Last year, facing the British press, the Prince of Wales revealed his opinion of the media, and in particular the BBC's Nicholas Witchell. Unaware of the strength of the microphone, he whispered to his sons, "Bloody people. Bleeping people." Are you allowed to say the B word?
Yeah, I think you can.
Righto. I'll just bleep it just for, just in case. Bleeping people, I can't bear that man. He's so awful, he really is. Mr Bush has made gasp before during the 2000 election campaign. He described a reporter to his running mate Dick Cheney as a major league bleep hole. I'm going to have to bleep that one out. And President Ronald Reagan should perhaps take the honours in front of live microphones. He described Polish leaders as a bunch of no-good, lousy bums. Said his economy was in a hell of a mess and joked, "My fellow Americans, I am pleased to tell you today that I have signed legislation that will outlaw Russia forever. We begin bombing in 5 minutes." He said that on the air to the American people. And all the people in the middle went, "Yay!"
Right.
£100 million to rebuild Lebanon. That seems very specific. In the previous bulletin, he said millions of pounds. And now it's 100 million, it's like 10 billion pounds, and, I don't know, it didn't look that great before. What's going to cost 100 million pounds to put it back together? Not £37.60? Not, 50 million pounds? Can I hear 37 million pounds? And, Andrew Flintoff, he did the, sports news. He did the sports news on the top of the air. Andrew Flintoff is going to miss the rest of the cricket season. Yeah, me too. He has to go and, have surgery or something. I'm going to miss it. Not remotely interested like the rest of the country. And don't be calling in saying that cricket is interesting and I really love cricket and the whole country is fascinated by cricket, because I know that that's not true. Because every time you see a cricket match, in a gap in play, which is like all the time, the cameras will pan up to the crowd and there isn't one. Just row after row of empty seats. That's how fascinating people find cricket. The only people who are at cricket are in the tent at the back, where they serve the beer, and they show the horse racing on TV. It's just look at the game. It's boring even when you're playing it. Good job. The season only lasts 2 weeks. Football was starting today. The tube was packed with people going to Arsenal, and apparently they're loving the new stadium. Anybody go to the Arsenal thing? Want to tell me what it looks like from the inside? I know what the area looks like from the outside. I used to live up that way. Awful. But anyway, it's getting better and better with every passing day. So, do you want to hear about the Sultan of Brunei?
Yes, am I going to find out who the hands were, by the way?
Well, you have to come in and take a look. If you want to do the hand story, then you have to come in and take a look at it.
Okay, do you want me to do
And at the hands as well. You can come in and take a look at that now if you like. Sure, why not? Just taking your headphones off, just getting up, striding purposely this way, opening the first of the air-conditioned sealed doors, and the second one. It's like Star Trek when you come in here. The sound of the. Look at that.
Oh, they're horrible. All of them. Bitten.
Do you know who that is?
No.
Gordon Brown.
Ooh, look at that one. Look at the thumb.
I know. This man bites his fingernails to the point that he almost doesn't have any left at all. There's at least, I don't know, half a centimetre, whatever that is in inches. I can't work in centimetres. There's like about a third of an inch between the end of his fingernail and the end of his finger. I mean, he's bitten them such that there's just a sliver of fingernail attached to the end of his fingers. It's like, I've never seen that before in my life. Not even a heroin addict bites his fingernails that much. This man is going to be running the country shortly. Don't you find that a little bit concerning? That anybody who's that obviously worried or has a childhood tic. There's not a tic even. It's a. Okay, this is a major problem. Look at the man. He's no man bites his fingernails like that. Children do that, right? When was the last time you saw a man who'd bitten his fingernails all the way down to the quick? That is vile.
I do know someone else who does.
Who?
Well, I'm not going to say.
Oh, they work on the air?
No, in the building, though.
In the building, right. OK, we're going to do a poll. We're going to get a list of the people who work in the building, and we'll get the people who are listening to this show to vote on who they think. No, we won't be doing that, but that's why the Telegraph, who's not his biggest fan, blew that part of the picture up. The part that actually contains the baby, of course, because that's where his hands are, holding the little baby. Most of the papers had the full shot of Gordon Brown, headshot and all, with the baby in the picture. But the Telegraph has zoomed in on it, and I'm sure it wasn't just to have a big picture of a baby, and the headline on the front is "Guess who's holding the baby?" But I think that we know who's holding the baby, because who else on earth, over the age of 10, bites his fingernails like that?
There is another idea. He could be a violinist. And then he'd need to have very short fingernails.
They have very short fingernails.
Yeah, you have to cut them all the time.
Yeah, that's not cut.
Well, all bite them, I guess, but it's not ideal.
It actually looks like he's had them, because they're not ragged. They look like they've been tidied up.
And they're not dirty, because I think a lot of people who do bite them like that, they have really grubby fingernails.
Mm. So they look like they've actually been tidied up. But the person at the nail clinic had very little to work with, so they've just sort of rounded them off. So that they and that must have been a painful procedure as well, because if you've got nothing to work with, then how are you going to get at them?
Oh, it's horrible.
So it looks like damage limitation exercise before he came out, because he knows he's going to be holding the baby, and one of his advisors said, "Hey, you know what? They're going to close in on the baby, and therefore your hands. You can either do it Michael Jackson Queen style and wear gloves, which would be inappropriate. People will be asking questions. Or you can go to have your nails done. Does Gordon Brown have his nails done? He bites them, like he starts them off. Perhaps it's cheaper. He's just being prudent. If he's got less work to work with, then they'll charge him maybe half price. I'd charge him double just to be anywhere near those hands. That is revolting. Anyway, I think we should have a vote. Do we want to be led by a man who bites his fingernails to that extent? Because what's he so worried about? I mean, he's got a pension for life. He's earning a six-figure salary. Doesn't have to do much. I mean, it's not like he's actually running the country, is it? I mean, it's not like he's... he doesn't even have to set interest rates anymore. Bank of England does that. What a genius move on their part, by the way. Most of his job was setting interest rates. I mean, he's not running businesses and making sure that, British businesses are earning a profit. That's completely out of his hands. And so the major thing that he had to work with was interest rates in order to boost our economy. And practically the first thing that they did was say, oh, well, we don't want to do that anymore. We'll give it to the Bank of England. And so what does he do? That's why he bites his fingernails all the time, 'cause he's got nothing else to do. He's finished twiddling them to the point that he'll get repetitive strain injury if he does it anymore. And so then you're left with just, like he's looking at his hands, oh, you know what? Like that. Freaky. So why is he so worried? That's what I want to know. I mean, he's been prudent all his life. We're supposed to be in relatively good shape compared to our competitors. He doesn't have to set interest rates or really do anything anymore. I mean, what does he do? What does he do? Answer me that. It's a direct question to you, Lucy.
He's looking after his baby.
Yes. And he said that he wasn't going to be rushing back to the Treasury any time soon. Well, that's all right, mate. You take as long as you want. We don't...
It's 2 weeks, isn't it?
We don't know exactly what it is you're doing anyway. And how long is Tony gone for? Like a month?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
That's
actually
incredible, don't you think?
Good timing.
I'm stunned that somebody supposed to be running the country would have the nerve to take a holiday. When was the last time you took a holiday, Lucy?
Well, on my days off this week, I went to Guernsey.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What's there?
Oh, it was lovely.
Cows.
Very beautiful.
Guernsey?
Yeah, Guernsey cows.
Mm-hmm.
Those nice sandy colour cows.
Sandy colour cows. Right.
They do lovely butter. Mmm. I ate like a fatty when I was there. It was good.
And so, right, how did you get to Guernsey? Flight?
Flew from Gatwick. But it's quite costly.
And did you plant any trees to compensate for you burning holes in the ozone layer?
Not yet, I haven't.
You could have swum there.
I could have done, yeah. Or I could have got the ferry. But that probably wouldn't be environmentally
friendly,
brilliant either.
No.
So, yeah, it was very pretty, and there's hardly any crime there. They'd had one burglary, I think, in a month or something, where two youths had gone and taken some silverware from an antiques shop, and basically everybody leaves their car doors open and their windows open.
I'd seriously doubt whether there are any youths. Did they have to import them?
Well, you know what, they have hoodies there who are like young teenagers who are terribly polite, and when they walk past you they go, oh, excuse me, sorry about that. And it's quite extraordinary. I was sort of almost laughing.
Is this while they're stabbing you in the face?
No, they don't stab
Terribly
you.
sorry about this. Huh.
I can recommend it though, it's beautiful.
It sounds really boring.
I think it would be boring if you lived there all the time, unless you've got lots of friends.
It's where people go to be closer to their money, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's very low tax, yeah. And
read the Daily Mail
rich
all the
over
time. And just be horrified at what's happening in the mainland.
Well,
or,
yes.
no, quietly satisfied, I would think.
But they're nearer France, really, so all their food and everything is much nicer, and they don't seem to sort of think of themselves as British or English, particularly. Most of them speak French, and, you know...
What?
They do. Yeah, I went into a couple of patisseries and they were all sort of... Bonjour,
Oh,
bonjour.
patisseries, was it?
Yeah.
Cake shop not good enough for you, were they?
It was lovely.
Guernsey. Right, well, I asked the wrong person. Well, I'll ask myself. When was the last time I took a holiday? I can't remember back that far, and I don't run the country. I don't have an important job at all. I'm sitting here doing this. He's going on holiday. I'm just stunned at that news. I mean, George Bush, right enough, he's not doing anything at all. He's just like I said before, he's just the goofy figurehead. Because I imagine that the people who are actually running America are really quite spectacularly evil. And so they want somebody who looks like a dope up front to make them look like they're less nasty and unpleasant and murderous. And if he's just all thumbs up and a goofy smile, then people go, oh, he's charming. I mean, he's a bit stupid, but he's not actually evil. It's the nasty men who are out of focus in the back of him that are actually doing the nasty business. But Tony is supposed to be doing it, himself. I actually believe that he's smart enough to be making a lot of the decisions himself. In fact, he probably doesn't let anybody else make any decisions at all. And so I just don't get it. How can you take a holiday from running the country? Was everybody I know it's August coming up, but are we supposed to just coast to a standstill? And if we can cope without him, why do we need him at all?
We got John Prescott.
Well, exactly. Now, that man's not going to be running the country either. I mean, is he? He's going to be sitting at his desk. There'll be no one else in the building because everyone's on holiday, and he's just sitting there, waiting for the phone to ring. Hoping that the phone doesn't ring. More like. Asking his secretary if she'll take some notes. Or something. I just don't get it. I'm confused. I am genuinely confused. You can call me Mr. Fide.
Clive Bull.
One of the golden rules.
Brunei is a very nice man. Is that right? Well, we've got no idea. The Sultan of Brunei celebrated his 60th birthday. It's and he looks fabulous. It's amazing what having £100 billion in the bank will do to your appearance. He celebrated his birthday with one guest conspicuously absent from his party, his disgraced younger brother. Prince Geoffrey is accused of embezzling. Guess how much? He had a disastrous tenure as finance minister of the oil-rich state. It's blamed for turning the royal family's private life into tabloid fodder. He embezzled. Guess how much he embezzled?
3 million.
Close. 8 billion. Can you imagine? 8 billion. Not million. Million. Now, is it a million or 1,000 million here? I can't remember which it is because it's different here and in America. Are we a million?
No, both the same now. Both 1,000 million.
Ah, there's what's the word? There's
That sounds good.
3 of us can't think of the word.
It's awful, isn't it? And we do words for a living. Shocking. Where are we? The Sultan takes full credit for his people's happiness. I bet he does. He's, after all, monarch. These are the jobs that he's given himself, OK? Monarch, Prime Minister, Defence Minister, Finance Minister, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Supreme Head of Islam, Chief of the Brunei Police, Head of the Petroleum Unit, and Head of Broadcasting Services. He rewrote the Constitution to declare His Majesty the Sultan can do no wrong in either his personal or any official capacity. It's the law. This is also a bit scary. This guy is sitting on most of the oil reserves on the planet. His lifestyle is breathtaking, with the main palace of... I'm going to ask you to guess again, Luce. She's on the phone. I'll ask you, Clive. How many rooms in his main palace? Have a wild stab in the dark. Most houses, let's put this in context. Most houses are, 2 up, 2 down, 4 rooms, let's say 5. Let's be super generous and say 7 in a major house. One of those Surrey stockbroker belt, one of these places with gates, it'll be 10 rooms. Huge. How many rooms do you think he's got? That's right, 1,788.
I was going to say 45.
1,788 rooms in his house.
And how many wrapping rooms?
That's just staggering. I mean, what? There's a huge question mark in front of me. I can't even put it into words. 1,788 rooms. He owns hundreds of polo ponies, a fleet of Rolls-Royce cars, and several aircraft. His people, with oil wealth flowing into their pockets, seemed unconcerned by his excesses. Last year there was barely a murmur when he divorced one of his 3 wives, the mother of 4 of his children, and married a Malaysian television star 3 decades younger than him, like Rupert Murdoch. The good time... That never made the press, did it? Rupert Murdoch marrying a woman who was... what was she, like... 18 or something, 20. He's 156, and she was 20. And it's the sort of stuff that the Sun lives for. Not a murmur, not a word. I don't think the other press said a word about it either. I think they're all scared to death because, of course, if a reporter gets fired from the Mirror, where's he going to go and work? Mr. Murdoch. The good times may not last, however. By the time the Sultan celebrates his 70th birthday, Brunei's oil and gas reserves may be starting to run out. The real test of his raw power will be to find a way of maintaining the prosperity that people have taken for granted for so long. Yeah, well, good luck with that. The devoted subjects of Hassan Bolkiah, that's his name, will travel by... because he had a party, right? They'll travel by speedboat and BMW from all over the tiny realm of mangrove swamp, jungle and manicured golf courses. The fortune to just be born at the head of the family on an oil well, which happens to also be a country. I mean, wouldn't that be great? I mean, wouldn't it be great if you were born in, like, Wigan, and you happened to be mayor of Wigan, and they found oil underneath, and suddenly, overnight, you were a bazillionaire, and you had more money that you wouldn't have any clue what to do with it. You'd buy London. Lucy's thinking, now, what would I do with £1 billion?
Still be living in Wigan, though, wouldn't you?
Yes, that's right. Yes, you'd still have to live in Wigan. There's nothing wrong with it. I've never been there. They had a military parade in the capital, a conglomeration of air-conditioned, which is a conglomeration of air-conditioned shopping malls, sumptuous hotels, marble mosques, with welcome signs studded with diamonds. See what I mean about they just got... There's so much money, they've got no idea what to do with it. And shortly, it's all going to run out, and they're going to be like, huh? Going to be looking at each other going, never had to earn any money, really. What does one do? They'll be saying. Dignitaries and heads of state will attend an investiture and a fireworks display, and a dinner will be served for... Guess how many people he's having a sit-down dinner for? The Sultan of Brunei. Have a wild stab in the dark.
2,000.
10,000 people. Hey, Peter.
Hello.
Peter.
The Sultan of Brunei also owns the Dorchester Hotel in Park Lane.
Does he? It's a very nice place. I've never been there either.
Anyway, just to spoil your Saturday night, the pain of your life, the ladies and gentlemen preached in Piccadilly Circus, has now got an apprentice.
Not the northern guy.
Yes.
The one from...
Today, and he's now got a little guy who's even more obnoxious than he is, wearing a baseball cap, who tells you now that my beloved friends, he's, ladies and gentlemen, the one's my beloved friends, Jesus loves you. So there's two of them at it now.
Now...
So you're obviously doing work wonders telling about the radio for them, because they're standing up like flyers.
Are they, so these both are in Piccadilly Circus?
Those in Piccadilly Circus for the larger-than-life speaker now. They've got a speaker and...
at the same
microphone.
Time?
Right in the middle of Piccadilly Circus.
Yes, but are they doing it at the same time?
No, well, he stops and has a cup of tea, another guy takes over.
Oh,
then he comes back, and he now goes on. A friend of mine who runs the ticket agency there is doing his nut, and apparently they're not breaking the law because he's not breaking the ASBO. There's no ASBO in Westminster. Westminster haven't got an ASBO in Piccadilly, apparently.
Right, well, I'm making an official complaint. I want an ASBO on that man. I want him beaten to the ground with large sticks. People should be using the taser on him. He's so there's the one guy who said, ladies and gentlemen, have you thought about Jesus, ladies and gentlemen? On and on and on. And then it's like we're importing them because they've got a guy from Birmingham now. Like, we don't have enough of those people here. There's one from Birmingham. He had to come down on a train.
No, he's Liverpool, isn't he?
Oh, Liverpool, Birmingham, who can tell the difference?
The other guy's a Cockney. But it's all getting terribly posh, you know, ladies and gentlemen, my beloved friends, and...
my beloved friends?
My beloved friends, yes. Don't believe what you hear elsewhere. I'm here to tell you the truth.
Right, let me just have a wild guess that he doesn't have any beloved friends.
Well, no, he's got no beloved friends. The postcard man, the souvenir seller man, the ticket man... the Wimpy Bar, the McDonald's, they're all going mad about it, but nothing to do about it, apparently.
Is there still a Wimpy Bar?
Well, it's McDonald's now, isn't it? Bang in the middle of Piccadilly Circus there.
Because Wimpy used to have pictures on the wall of the food. Do you remember that?
Yes.
This was before McDonald's arrived in this country.
Well, you and I are very old. We remember those things.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot, mate. And a massive treat was to get your mum to take you to Wimpy, and they had milkshakes there, which in those days had no ice cream. Of course, they don't have any ice cream in most of the places you get in these days. They're foamed iced product,
True,
whatever they put in that, but the ice cream didn't touch it.
Yeah.
But then, it wasn't thick. I remember the
Also had
first...
pictures on the wall, if I remember.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, the pictures of the wall of the food, which looked a lot more pert than the actual
actually got, yes.
saggy mess that came on the plate. But my absolute favourite was when they had a tomato in the middle. I can't remember what it was called. Someone will remember. They had a tomato.
Could you not do a live broadcast from Piccadilly Circus?
Oh yeah, I'd really like to do that. Yeah, sure. I don't even want to walk through, let alone be there for 3 hours. But they had a tomato and they bent a sausage around it by cutting.
It's true.
Yeah.
And it was an awful thing. It was like a Frankfurt had gone wrong and you cut it open. It was awful.
Yes. Well, you know what they put in that, don't you?
I don't eat them.
No, me either. I worked in a meat factory once, and that put me off eating meat forever.
I went round a sausage factory once and saw how they were done, and that was the end of it, I'm afraid.
Because when you see when you see meat in a pie, like mystery meat, when they put it in a pie or a frankfurter or sausage, or when it's not actually a cut of meat, when it's mystery meat, you've got no idea what it is.
What is brawn, by the way? When I was up in Wigan, I heard you talk about Wigan earlier, and that they have a brawn batty or patty, wherever it is up there.
Brawn?
Brawn, yes.
Are they saying brown?
It's got jellied meat and all kind of things. It looks like dog meat gone wrong.
Well, you take the front of the animal and you turn it to its side, and that's where all the cuts of meat come from.
Right.
And then you turn it another 90 degrees, and that's where the sausage meat comes from.
Right,
That's what you're looking at right there.
There's just a thing called brawn. I haven't got a clue what it is, though.
No, it's ants repellent.
All right. All right, sir. Well, I thought I'd let you know the bad news that there's now 2 of them. They're springing up like wildfire. So.
All right, well, thanks for the bad news,
I hope
Peter.
this Sultan Brunei invites to his birthday party.
Yeah, cheers.
Bye.
Ta-da. Didn't he sound like a politician that we all know very well? Didn't he sound like... He sounded like the, oh, God, what's his name? The pipe-smoking socialist. What's his name? He very much did. He sounded like Tony Benn. He was the spitting...
similar, yes.
Yeah, he was. I bet that was Tony Benn, in disguise.
Do you think?
I wonder if Tony Benn is able to actually walk through public without people throwing their knickers at him or offering him a light or whatever it is they do when someone's that famous. Assaulting him because they've taken some irrational dislike to him because they've seen him on the telly. Like they did with, oh, I've got it here. One moment, please. Here's a reason why you don't want to be famous, boys and girls. And I know that everyone, the only thing that people want to be these days is famous. Here's what happens. Rocker Bobby Gillespie is sporting a broken nose and 2 black eyes after he was beaten up in a hotel brawl. The Primal Scream singer, 42, said he was punched in the face for no apparent reason as he sat in a bar after a gig in Madrid. Bobby, a close friend of Kate Moss, oh, blimey, she gets everywhere, showed up almost 12 hours late for a pre-recorded Top of the Pops performance yesterday after doctors told him to rest. That's what you want to do when you get on Top of the Pops. Or ever become a rock star of any kind, you always want to show up 12 hours late. Minimum. It's almost like written to your contract. As a sideline, the guy from Guns N' Roses, Axl Rose, he just did a gig in Newcastle, and he arrived late, and he wouldn't go on stage because he said he wanted a roast dinner. And he refused to go on stage until they'd given him a roast dinner with all the trimmings. I won't do it. What an idiot. What? Oh, ads at 55. Oh, you should have been flapping your arms ages ago.
Here's how to get an upgrade on...
Who showed up to record Top of the Pops 12 hours late. Good for you, mate. A source said Bobby turned up for filming sporting 2 nasty-looking black eyes and a swollen nose. The band was scheduled to film their performance Sunday morning, but Bobby was in no fit state to be in front of the camera. He looked like he'd taken one hell of a beating. Everyone was amazed he even turned up. It's not easy to hold a note when your nose is broken. A band spokesman said there was an incident in the hotel in Madrid on Friday. Bobby was in the bar when a guy lunged at him in an unprovoked attack that left him with facial injuries. Huh. And that's what you get when you're famous. People either want to have sex with you for no reason other than they've seen you on the telly, which may or may not be great. It would get maybe a bit wearing after a while, perhaps, both literally and figuratively. But if they don't want to have sex with you, they want to kill you. Like I said, for no better reason than they take an irrational dislike to you because you've been in their living room. Because that's what you are when you're on the TV. You're an uninvited guest in someone's living room. You turn the telly on, and there they are. And it could be Brucey. Brucey would be nice. You know, a little... I flipped around to doing some stupid dance thing on the BBC, aren't they? Oh, my God. As part of their public service remit, Struth.
There was a wonderful bit where they cut to him and he obviously wasn't expecting it and he looked really grumpy and then all of a sudden had to cheer up.
Ta-da! Yes. So don't be famous, boys and girls, because that's what you get, beaten up in a hotel bar. Maybe it was a music lover that did it. He'd heard their new album. So anyway, I'm going to do Naomi Campbell. Now, let me rephrase that. I'm going to do the story about Naomi Campbell and this policeman in Wales, Richard Brunstrom. Oh, what a character.
On FM.
On DAB.
And on...
This is crazy. Yes, so me and Andrew Flintoff, we're both going to be missing the rest of the cricket season. I am so happy. I haven't actually sat and listened to this music in a good long while. I normally yak all over it. His fat little fingers. How he could play with so many rings in his fingers, I've got no idea. Hey, did you know Liberace often had a ring on his finger? Oh! And then I have to start talking because it ends very abruptly. Everybody now. My favourite part. Let's go with the Potter's Bar. Hey, John.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right.
Good. I just turned on and heard you talking about Wimpy's, and you were talking about the Frankfurter with the half of a tomato sitting in the centre of
That's right, yeah.
International Grill.
Is that what it was called?
It was called an International Grill.
How can you remember that?
Because it used to be my favourite.
Yeah, mine too, yeah.
It really used to be, and even today, I'm creeping up to 50, and even today, if I see a Wimpy and I'm peckish, I will go in and sit down and have a Wimpy, purely because it's on a plate with a knife and fork.
But they don't do international grills anymore, do they?
They call it a classic grill now.
They still do that?
Yes, they do.
They bend the sausage?
They do.
Really? Do they do a Coke float?
I don't know, to be honest.
Hey, do you remember that? They used to have a... it used to be the precursor to a milkshake where they gave you a glass of Coke and put a dollop of ice cream in it.
That's right. What
a revolting thought. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but they always used to do milkshakes, but they were milkshakes. They were made with milk.
That's right.
More
flavoured milk.
Whatever it is these other people use to make them thick. But,
I had last time I had a Wimpy, I had one of their bean burgers because I went vegetarian. And
right.
I had gas like not even the North Sea has as much gas as as I produced. Oh, blimey!
It's the only burger I still eat today. Occasionally, I just crave. It's a comfort food, I suppose, from my childhood. You know, so...
Well, if you'd ever seen them make mystery meat products, then I seriously doubt whether you'd sit down and eat one.
No, I probably wouldn't. But then that's the same with a lot of produce that's in production for people to eat fast. And
actually, if you'd walked around the kitchen of any restaurant you happen to be sitting in, you'd probably get up and leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Exactly the same thing.
All right, listen, thanks a lot, John, for walking us down memory lane.
That's all right, no
Cheers,
problem.
mate. Ta-da.
Take care, bye-bye.
No, I went veggie after I'd worked in a meat factory in Scotland, and seeing an amount of mystery meat in a pie is one thing. Seeing that same meat in a vat before it goes into the pies, and they turn the vat upside down to put it in the hopper, and you have to take your arm and scrape around the inside of the vat and slap the rest of the stuff that was in the hopper into the... and the smell of it. Oh, overpowering. And the colour of it. Oh, and the texture of it. And you just... at that point, I said, right, I'm not eating mystery meat ever again. And as a student, I couldn't afford best cuts, so I just stopped eating. I mean, I didn't go all like, I want to save the fluffy bunnies and be a vegetarian. Just working in a meat factory really put me off. I thought, no, I will not abuse my body in this fashion, I said.
So did you not eat any meat at all at that stage?
No, I stopped completely. And I've tried a little bit every now and again. You know, when I'm sitting in a restaurant and somebody's eating some meat, I'll reach over and, you know, often on different tables, I'll just get up, walk through the restaurant and say, excuse me. But, and you know what, it doesn't really taste... I've got no desire to go back to eating meat. Eat a lot of fish.
What about game?
I am not. Game.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean,
nice bit of venison or bit of duck or pheasant?
No. After a while, you just don't want it anymore.
What do you do? What do you have for Christmas dinner?
Pizza.
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't?
I absolutely do have pizza. My pizza that I make myself.
What, Brussels sprout and chestnut pizza?
I have homemade pizza once a week. I look forward to it.
Once a week?
Yes.
You?
Absolutely, yeah. But you've got to make it yourself. Don't get pizza from your local delivery place. It has to be made yourself with, prawns and all of the things that should be on a pizza. Prawns.
Do you do the base as well?
No, I get that out of a box. But I've become dissatisfied with the base because... Shut up. I've been going through great lengths to get the perfect base. I even bought one of those stones, a pizza stone, which is better but not perfect. I don't know how they do it in pizza parlours. Like Pizza Express, for instance, the base is always perfectly how do they do that?
Oh, they're delicious, theirs, aren't they? Always so light and thin. You should make your own.
I do make the base. Yeah. I suppose so. But the topping is the thing. So that is what I do have every Christmas. Pizza. Yes.
Even though everyone else...
Stop looking at me, horrified.
Sorry. Well, I thought you might try and do some kind of alternative, fabulous vegetarian, you know...
No. Pizza
butter.
with prawns, mozzarella, cheddar, parmesan, peppers, pineapple, very important. What are you screwing your eyes up at?
I don't know, there's something about pineapple on a pizza that I always find a bit chavvy.
Oh, thanks very much.
Sorry.
My Christmas dinner. Let's have Islington. Hello, John.
All right, Nick, how you doing?
All right.
I need some advice.
on.
Over the past few nights, I've been getting really hot and sticky, and what do you reckon I should do?
Leave the window open and take the duvet out of the cover.
No, I've done that. It's still really hot. Should I get an air conditioner? Is it worth it?
Try powder.
No, tried that. Talcum powder.
Yes.
That doesn't work, man. The thing is, right, I'll buy it and I'll probably only need it for like 2 weeks, and then it'll be like freezing again.
I think it's freezing again already. Like, I left the air-conditioned comfort of the building that I do my day job in.
Yeah.
And
lately,
it's... without mentioning other stations' names. Well done, mate. That's
excellent.
Sorry, man. And lately, of the past week or so, it's been fantastic. For me, it cannot get hot enough. I mean, I'm not working on a building site, and I don't have to...
Do you holiday in hot places?
I don't holiday. Unlike Tony Blair, I've got work to do.
Yeah, right. Hey, Nick, what do you make of Howard Stern? Do you think he's quite good?
Yeah, he is, but Neil Rogers is funnier.
He does a TV show. Like, I don't understand what's the deal with that. Is that live at the same time as Howard Stern's radio show?
They, I believe that they do film his radio show as it's happening and then play the best bits out on TV, yeah.
Nick, I've tried listening to Neil Rogers. I don't know, I don't really get it. Is it like a team of people, or is it just him?
Just him. See, the thing with Neil Rogers, now I'm going to be brief about this because nobody knows what...
And he gives it away for free, right?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's one of the few of the major stars in America who actually compiles a month's worth of shows that you can just access without paying.
Yeah.
The thing with Neil Rogers is, I mean, he's the reason that I'm doing this, really, that I thought, I want to be a talk show host.
Yeah.
Is that it's like what do they call Coronation Street in EastEnders? What is that?
Soap.
Soap. It's like a soap. You won't get EastEnders if you just watch one of them.
Well, it's like Big Brother, then.
Exactly. Yes. You have to keep watching. You have to invest some of yourself in it. Yeah, it's just one person, that's right. The funniest man in the history of radio.
Is it daily, like 30 Friday, or is it...
He does 4 hours every day. Well, at the moment, he just does... No, he just does two shows a week. This is how great a life he's got, right?
Yeah.
He works in, he does a show for Miami, and he doesn't even live in the country anymore. He lives in Canada.
Oh, right, okay.
And in the summertime, he only does Tuesdays and Thursdays. Isn't that great? For like 2 months of the year, he's only on 2 days a week. How and Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, his board op does it, and his numbers are still through the roof.
Sorry?
And he's still getting fantastic, huge audience.
His board up. What do you mean by that?
Board op, his engineer, the guy who puts the buttons up and down.
Nick, why is it that all American content is just so much better than British content? Like today, I was just watching Friends, a repeat on E4. Like. British TV and British radio, well, apart from your show, obviously, it just sucks. Like, what's the deal with that?
Right, well, the reason that American comedies are funnier is because they're written by more people. British comedies tend to be written by one guy with personality problems, sitting at home in his damp flat, bashing out a typewriter.
Hey, Nick, are you glad that fat girl's gone off Big Brother?
No, I am not. Will you morons stop voting the right people off Big Brother?
I'm sorry, did you like the Queen?
What Queen?
Richard.
Oh, God, no, he has got to go.
Well, exactly. Well, you wanted him to go more than Jane?
Definitely.
Do you miss Nikki now that she's off?
Absolutely, yes, totally. Okay.
Do you not think she looks anorexic, though?
Yes, she does.
Girl,
yes, she used to weigh under 3 stone at one point. Isn't that incredible?
Nick, can I ask you something? Are you actually ashamed that you like and you enjoy Big Brother?
No.
You're not ashamed, considering what you said a few weeks back. And like you, I hadn't really got into Big Brother before, but now it is addictive.
I used to be ashamed, now I'm just amused.
Nah.
Anyway, it sounds like he's asked me about 100 different questions and hasn't waited 2 seconds for me to answer one of them. Have you got this stuff written down, mate?
No.
Try decaffeinated coffee. I'll talk to you later. Ta-da.
I will do. Cheers, mate.
Bye-bye. Let's go back over that call and try to answer some of the questions, because as soon as I got into, answering one, he was busy wrenching me in the opposite direction. I can't remember what he asked now.
I think he had written them all down. What's your shoe size? He asked you about where you go on holiday.
Right.
And what else did he go to? Oh, he suddenly switched. Oh, I know. The original thing was the hot and sticky at night. And then all of a sudden he asked you what you thought of Howard Stern.
I know. The hot and sticky at night thing, I don't think you have to worry about that anymore. Because like I was trying to explain, I think we've had it now. Summer's gone. Autumn is here. You ready yet?
No.
No, because everyone was moaning and whining, oh, it's so hot. And my day job, I had to get there for 9, right, which is the worst time to have to get into central London ever. And so I used to go in super extra double early just to avoid the rush hour. And you know what? The District Line, last week or so, they were saying that they were giving away water on the District Line, and I thought, why? Because the District Line is mostly outside. But you know what? It's way hotter than the Piccadilly Line. Yes, the District Line is a nightmare. There's no air in those carriages at all.
It doesn't move through, even though they have the doors, like the window at the
I know,
ends
it's
of the
just not
carriages,
sufficient. But on the Piccadilly Line, I think they've actually got something close to air conditioning. Unless I haven't been paying attention, they've got new black sort of curved things in the roof of the Piccadilly Line trains, and wherever you stand in the train, no matter how busy it is, there's always cool air rushing at you. I think they must have scoops on the top of the train now that is pushed into the train. It's like a genius idea. Just aerate the top of the train and get air into it as the train moves along. It just scoops the air in like a scoop on the front of a car bonnet. Brilliant. Anyway, so as I was coming out the building, this air-conditioned, cool environment, you come out when it was 100 degrees outside, and you thought, oh, yeah, this is great. I came out today, and it was a little bit chilly. So, like I said, I think summer has gone. We've had it. So he doesn't need to worry about his parts sticking to him. And like I said, talcum powder is excellent for that, as Lucy will attest.
Oh, I've never done that.
What?
It always reminds me of swimming pools when I was a kid, when all the kids used to put it on their feet.
Talcum powder?
Yeah.
You don't use talcum powder?
Never. I just imagine it clogging up my pores.
Talcum powder's great.
Oh, is it?
I put it on at least 4 of my parts before
I don't want to know
What?
which ones.
How much do you get for it?
Is it smelly talcum powder?
No. Well, most talcum powder smells of, but it's not perfumed. No, you don't want to go there,
No.
girlfriend.
Okay.
But, try it. Start slowly and then build up.
But
Put it on your feet, in between your little tootsies.
What about when you're moisturising, though? What happens? Doesn't it just then congeal? What do you put on first?
It becomes cement. Well, you don't moisturise the bits that you talcum powdered.
Okay, so if I'm moisturising my arms and my legs...
Yeah, don't put talcum powder on your legs. Put talcum powder on the parts that chafe,
Okay.
the parts that stick together.
Okay.
We'll make a
5?
list. We'll make a list of the 5.
Thighs.
Oh,
But I'd have put cream on
I
there,
thought
you
that
see.
you made you were totting up mentally. So that's parts that stick together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, my fat thighs, they would.
Right, we went a little bit of talcum powder in between your fat thighs.
But I've already got the moisturiser on then, haven't I? So it's hopeless. Then it's just like goo.
Yeah, we don't want to put moisturiser on parts that rub up against each other.
No. Well, really? Why?
Because they would eventually your sweat would combine with that, and you'd find yourself stuck to yourself. You'd be immobile in the middle of the street, calling plaintively for help. No, talcum powder so that your parts move smoothly.
Oh.
Well, you could just oil yourself like a car.
I'll be slick.
Yes. You be slick and I'll be Rick. Hey,
Yeah.
It's the Slick and Rick Show.
7090900973.
And there was a gentleman who was standing on the in the District Line train that I took today, and he decided in a relatively packed car to lean with his back against the open window, thereby closing off any air that we were getting. And the only air that was coming was coming through his shirt to us. And, sometimes the people stink, and their stink gets on you so that you're smelling him hours later. What is that? Oh, man, this guy reeked like cheese. It was awful. He had the loudest speaking voice of any human I've ever heard in my life, and was making phone call after phone call, going through tunnels. Shall I do the accent as well, or would that be considered...
How did he make phone calls through the tunnels?
He would make the phone call... because the District Line goes in and out, right?
Yeah.
And so he'd make the phone call and then say, shall I do the accent, or will people get upset?
Yeah, do the accent. Let's see how many people get upset.
All right. I'm going into a tunnel now. I'm going to lose you. And he thought that by shouting louder, he would be connected longer. Idiot. Yes, I'm coming now. I'm going to be late.
Stop the accent now.
Want me to stop the accent now? That's what he sounded like.
You're almost Welsh.
Yelling
Is that
in
right?
my... Yeah, he was a big black Nigerian Welsh person, yeah. Yelling in my ear. And then he was like, I don't know, juggling sputum or, a nasal fluid in the back of his throat. Not just coughing politely, but I don't know, maybe it's a thing that they do. I've got no idea. It was absolutely revolting. And he was just juggling it. Like it was there, and everyone could hear it, but he wasn't getting rid of it. As though he wanted it just there in the back of his throat, ready for, I don't know, expellation. And then he sneezed. Uncontrollably. And I've got my back to him about a foot away, and it felt like a hurricane had just passed my head. And there's a guy sitting on the chair. I was standing up, and the guy sitting next to me on the chair, and he wiped his face. This guy needed, putting down. Is that going too far? Hey, Rob.
You all right, babe? How are you?
I'm all right.
That's how I'd speak if I was a drag queen. I was talking about someone with phlegm in the back of the throat. We had a guy in our presentation once in a seminar who did a 15-minute presentation. Oh, it was disgusting. People actually walking out the seminar.
Yeah, you just want to climb out the window.
Phlegm boy, we call him in the end.
Nice.
Vile. How was your barbecue?
Oh, my barbecue was fantastic. Couldn't have gone better, yeah.
Yeah, it looked nice from what I saw.
Yeah, I invited Carol McGiffin, and did she show up?
No!
Well, it's an important thing to do, I'm sure.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Is she on TV at the moment?
Celebrities to do, that sort of thing, yeah.
What do you do?
Is she on TV at the moment? I've got no idea.
I don't watch TV anymore.
I don't think you don't watch TV
Not that
anymore.
I'll come down to that in a minute. I watched a good program tonight, so I'll talk about that in a second. I saw Superman the other day.
Now, I've read that it's a 5-star movie, is that correct?
No.
Right.
It's, okay. I've seen better films. I'm not into this. I've not seen a Superman film before I saw this one. I just never really got around to it, really.
I love big blockbusters. I like movies with explosions and car chases and, lots of gunfire and all of that stuff where you can just switch your brain off and just be overwhelmed with the special effects.
There's a lot of that.
But if it's just a 3-star film, I'd rather not spend £120 or whatever it is to go and see it.
It's definitely a 3-star film. It doesn't have much plot. What I don't understand, they got Marlon Brando in it.
What?
He's in there.
They got
He's dead as well, so he's doubly talented.
He's still dead, is he?
He's still dead. No, what they've done is they've somehow got the computer and got him from the original Superman, for which he got £4 million for 16 minutes, plus 16% of the product of the film.
How fantastic is that?
Best deal Hollywood ever gave.
Ever. Well, apart from Jack Nicholson, who I think had got all of the money that Bill Gates doesn't own for the initial Batman, because he got a percentage. No, Tom Cruise beat him, because in the for the last Mission Impossible, which I bet sucked.
Didn't watch it.
I haven't seen that one. I saw Mission Impossible 1 was okay, if a little confusing. You know, when here's a spoiler, alert, spoiler alert.
I don't like Tom Cruise films. I had a film lecture once.
Nobody will let me finish a single sentence, will they? But anyway.
Listen to me. I had a film lecture once, and he said, people are attracted to films by who's starring them.
Correct.
I argued, well, actually, I did the opposite. If I know Tom Cruise is starring, I want to film and watch it.
Well, that's you and you alone.
It's not. I represent the masses.
You don't. People love Tom Cruise for some reason. They just love him. Despite all of his carrying on. Yeah.
Well, anyway, Marlon Brando's, they've got they kind of brought back the original film, his clip in the film, and you when you see it, you'll see what I mean. But what I don't understand about this film is it's set 5 years after the last film, which was in 1987, which by my mathematics, which I got a B in GCSE for, makes it 1982. But throughout the film, there's use of plasma screens, mobile camera phones, and other modern-day technology. I'm thinking, hold on, shouldn't somebody said something here? Or is this like sponsorship? Like, oh, we'll do a deal with on mobile phones and...
And is Superman gay?
Apparently. Everyone's gay these days, aren't they?
It's very fashionable, yeah. No, there's been all these articles about, is Superman gay?
Oh, that's just right-wing religious
nutters from America, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing in that film. Kevin Spacey's in it, by the way. Nothing in that film strikes me as gay.
Well, apart from the big cape and the underpants over the trousers, yeah.
Yeah, hot. Anyway, there's a good program on tonight.
I doubt that.
The history or the story of light entertainment. Now, as soon as this program started, I thought I should record this because it'll be useful in years to come when I'm a huge mega star. But it was about double acts. They had the likes of, name a double act.
Hale and Pace.
Yeah, they were there.
No.
Yeah, they only got like a brief mention. But
well, the only double act with 2 straight men. Yeah. Everyone's so unpleasant about Hale and Pace, aren't they? I mean, they're just doing their best.
Well, I don't know what they do now, but they got Morecambe Wise, the 2 Robbies, 2 Ronnies, all the other double acts.
You know, the thing about Morecambe and Wise is that if you see them now, it's not that funny.
Well, look, they've been repeating Morecambe Wise. I was born in 1985. They've been repeating them since, he died 2 years before me. No, a year before me. And I've never found it funny.
No, the 2 Ronnies, however, are funny. They continue to be funny. I think they were cleverer because they were more wordsmiths rather than just relying on Eric Morecambe's talent for just being funny.
Standing there. Yeah, well... Yeah,
so did they come up with the best, or was it one of those list programmes?
This is like a history of light entertainment, which is a curious category, by the way. Why is there light entertainment separated from entertainment?
Yes, because there's not much to it, perhaps.
Well, apparently most double acts don't actually get on.
Oh, yeah, well, famously. Comedians are always depressive and have awful lives, and they hate everything. And double acts don't, like bands, they don't get on either. Like The Who, they wanted to kill each other all the time.
They had a lot of Pete and Dud.
Well, they would, yeah. Or the precious little that's actually left, yeah.
What I don't understand is they, well, I'd have to do this delicately now. They can use certain swear words on TV, but they can't use the big one.
Well,
they can say the F word, but they can't say the C word.
Yeah, well, I don't like, I wouldn't ever use either of them ever on at work.
No.
But there's only one of them that I would use in my private life, and I really don't like it when I hear the other one. And that's all that we should say about that subject. Let's dance away from it quickly.
I would just argue that I do the opposite. I think youth has changed.
Well, that's you, Rob.
Not me, personally. I'm a religious boy and get on with everyone.
Yeah, sure you are.
But there was a clip of Bruce Forsyth in this programme coming on next week saying, the biggest regret I have in my career is that I did too many quiz shows. I'm thinking, hold on, are you doing, like, stupid dancing in the street programmes now, and,
He owns most of Surrey and a fleet of Rolls-Royces from doing quiz shows, and that's the thing he regrets the most.
And he said, I'm an entertainer at heart. I'm thinking, throughout the 70s and 80s, mate, there's no other stage for you but from quiz shows.
But didn't he do well?
The rare albatross.
Brought to you by Clive.
Sorry.
Oh, no, I enjoyed that gap. Every now and again, you want a little relax in it. I could have put my feet... If you'd have told me it was coming, I'd have put my feet up and strike up a cigar. Fancy a cocktail? Right, let's go with this Richard Brunstrom thing. Do you do a blog, either of you two?
Not personally, no.
No, not personally either. I do one for you.
What's the irony thing is you didn't realise that you do a blog.
Yes, but do you make it clear that it's not actually me?
I just say what was talked about on the programme, so
Right.
it's kind of obvious.
You don't sign it. Me.
I don't say love Nick, no.
Right. Good. Anyway, Richard Brunstrom. You know Richard Brunstrom. He's from the traffic Taliban of Wales. He's this guy who's just obsessed about prosecuting every driver he can get his hands on. You know this guy? He does a blog. Thousands of Britons, it's reported in the Telegraph, are devoting hours every week updating online journals. So if you're not connected to the web and, fully conversant as to what it is that people are doing when they're not downloading porn, it's they're writing blogs, which is basically an online diary describing the minutiae of their secrets and working days. None of these people are actually having sex. This is what they're doing with their time, writing a diary so that complete strangers can read it. For why, no one knows. This week, the Chief Constable of North Wales joined the craze with a regular and surprisingly frank web journal. In his first entry, Richard Brunstrom, I'll call him Dick, famed for his obsession with cracking down on errant motorists, revealed how he spent his day off. While his wife was away, he wrote, he had the opportunity to sneak off to have some fun. For Mr. Brunstrom, that meant getting back into uniform and spending an uninterrupted shift stopping cars. We did a 12-hour shift on the A497 on the outskirts of... Oh, blimey, how'd you pronounce that? Here you go. You're so smart, try this. Pwllheli. Pwllheli. Is that right? Pwllheli?
Pwllheli.
Because LL is isn't it?
Pwllheli.
Anyway, that place, in the baking sunshine. This is what he's writing. He did a 12-hour shift in that place, in the baking sunshine. This part of Wales, he said, is one of the nicest places on the planet in good weather. Shame it doesn't happen more often! ! Shame I can't pronounce it. The camera read 5,891 number plates. This is what he's doing on his day off. From which we had 321 hits, resulting in us stopping 109 cars. During the course of the day, the team arrested 22 people, mostly for possession of small amounts of cannabis. Well, that was a good day's work, wasn't it?
No!
No, not really. I was proceeding along in a north-south-east westerly direction when I espied with my nasal apparatus an aroma of Pink Floyd-like provenance. I immediately arrested the perpetrators and swiped their stash. Clear-up rates for burglary stand at 12%. 12%. That's practically 9 burglaries remain unsolved out of 10. 1 in 10 get solved. But never mind about that, because he is busy arresting speeders and stoners. Good job, Dick. Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Yes, Adam.
That was interesting.
Yes, Dick Nordstrom.
Do we care?
Let's go with South Norwood.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
Yes, Philip.
Before I make my main point, you mentioned, I think, Pwllheli, if that's the place you were
Pwllheli, that sounds about right, yeah.
Well, there used to be a holiday camp there. You've heard of Billy Butlin's?
Of course.
Well, I think the only holiday camp he had in Wales, to the best of my knowledge, was in, I think he pronounced it, Pwllheli.
That sounds right.
Yes.
Book early.
So I don't know if it's still there. I mean, you get a policeman outside the camp, I expect. You know, knocking you off as you go by it. Which would be a bit
So to
off-putting.
speak, yes.
Right, to my main point. I bumped into some friends today and we were talking about records. And we were talking about two kind of records. First of all, we were talking about records that were banned when they first came out in this country. And then we were talking about songs that used to have death in them.
Death?
Yes. Remember, like, Tell Laura I Love Her, Endless Sleep, Moody River, Eve of Destruction.
And there was there was one with the motorbike going around Dead Man's Curve.
Oh,
Dead Man's Curve.
yes.
Look out, look out, look out, look out.
Look out, look out, look out. I was a great fan of Jan and Dean. I think I've got every one of their records. And it was a say, but I just wondered, sure there must be records like it today, but talking about the band records, Nick, before I mention my next point...
Oh, there's another one?
Oh, yeah, it's connected with this, Nick, but I want to ask you a question. Would you ever refuse to play a record?
What, because I thought it was disgusting?
Yes.
I suppose it's possible, yeah, because some rap records really irritate me because they're just moronic.
Yeah, just fall out.
All women are hoes, and, it's my gun is bigger than yours.
Yeah.
Yo, and it's just stupid. Yeah.
It is. One of these songs that was banned when it first came out in this country was a song called John and Marsha. Have you ever heard it?
John and Marsha?
Yes. It was recorded by the great American comedian, comedy music, Stan Freberg.
Yes, Stan Freberg.
And
T
all
for
it
two.
was, and I've actually got a bit of it set up, so if you'd like to hear a piece, I'll play it for you. What it was Stan Freberg, and all he did, he made out he was a man and a woman, and the man said Marsha, and when he was a woman, he just said John. And that's all it was for about 2.5 minutes. But, as I say, it wasn't what you say.
It's the way that you say it.
Yeah. Would you like to hear a piece of it?
Would we like to hear a piece of it?
John and Marsha.
I'll leave it up to Lucy.
Go on, then.
Go on, then.
Okay.
Marsha. John? Marsha.
John! And of course it gets more and more...
heated.
Expressive as it goes along.
Yes.
Did you know that Bill Oddie had a record banned by the BBC?
Oh, no.
Yes.
Not him.
It was the Rockers, and he did a song called Nothing Better to Do, in which he was one of these Hells Angels in this country who went round smashing up phone boxes, and the BBC got so agitated they banned it.
Wayne County had a song. The first part of the lyric was "If you don't want to," and the rest of it we can't mention on the air.
Who was that by?
Wayne County and the Electric Chairs.
I've never heard.
Google it.
Of course there was I tell you one. I was talking to Lucy about a song that one of my favourites that was #1 in America, but they put it on a restricted list over here. Was Monster Mash by Bobby Pickett and the Crypt Kickers.
Why was that banned?
I don't know. When it first came out, I thought, what a fantastic record. And I was in a BBC show, and they used to play requests, and I said, would you... And the producer looked at me as much as though I'd asked for something really disgusting.
It was the Monster Man.
Yes! Well, because it was also done by the Bonzos, wasn't it, in later years?
Oh, well, that's the version that I must know, yeah, the Bonzo Dog Doodah.
Bonzo Dog Doodah Band. And the other one was Jatem by Serge Gainsbourg.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Too much heavy breathing.
There was a comedy version of that, wasn't there, with... I think it was Frankie Howard and June Whitfield.
That sounds awful.
They did, but as I say, there doesn't, I suppose, as you say, like, if certain songs are repetitive four-letter words, and I can understand it, but, we don't have many comedy records these days, do we?
No, you're right, yeah, we don't. Well, the charts used to be full of things like... the Benny Hill song.
Yeah, Ernie, fastest milkman in the West.
And, stuff...
I mean, songs that, you think, because, the charts, they were so varied in the old days, anything could get into the charts.
Now, we're not going to sound like a couple of toothless old geezers saying that
but I'm sure there's a lot of people, Nick.
pop music isn't like it used to be.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that are finding this interesting because, people, I'm sure, in their record collection, they've got some, amazing records. I know I got one or two various ones, and
it seems to be being banned is it's almost like taking cocaine. Being banned like taking cocaine is a fast route to success.
Yeah, I tell you a record I have got, Nick. That I won it in a competition. It's Bernard Manning singing "How Do You Mend a Broken Heart."
You know what? I don't want to hear that one.
No, seriously. Did you know that he used to be a band singer? Not a band singer, a band.
B-A-N-N-E-D, yeah.
And he had a very, very good voice.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Because he used to sing on the Wheel Tappers and Shunters.
He used to sing on that show.
Oh, he did. That was they had my favourite comedian on that, old Colin Crompton.
I don't
remember. He used to sit
him.
there with a peak cap, trying to get everybody quiet. But Manning had a good voice.
What was his catchphrase? The MC? Yeah,
the MC. He used to make jokes about Morecambe on the comedians.
But he used to have a bell, didn't he? And,
yes.
And what was his catch? What was his
dear. All around the room.
No, silence, ladies and gentlemen.
Silence, ladies and gentlemen, all around the room.
Give order, wasn't
it? That's it, give order.
Give order, yeah.
And he was a truly great comedian. He's so deadpan.
Anyway, listen, Philip, thanks very much. We've been skipping hand in hand down memory lane.
Down memory lane.
Yeah,
okay, Nick.
Right, cheers.
You're welcome. Bye.
Ta-da. Yeah, it seems like, let me clarify what I meant just before. Taking cocaine is not a fast route to success, but it seems to me that a lot of famous people who do get caught doing the Peruvian marching powder do seem to have much better careers after they're caught than before. Like, for instance, Kate Moss. And being banned seems to be a fast route to selling many more records than you ever would before, because Frankie Goes to Hollywood, for instance, with Relax. Mike Reed famously refused to play it. I think he threw it across the room, didn't he, on Radio 1, when you were allowed to do such things and wouldn't get, I was going to say fired, but they don't do that anymore either. Only on commercial radio do you get fired for your misdeeds. On Radio 1, you actually get promoted and a pay rise. And it's triple Rolls Royces all round. But they banned Frankie, and then it sold more copies than the Bible. So if the next time I get banned, then you watch my career really start to take off.
Anna Rayburn, she's tender.
Well, she seems like a very nice lady, doesn't she?
No.
No, not really, no. An assistant to Naomi Campbell is the latest member of her staff to accuse the British supermodel of hitting her with a mobile phone during a temper tantrum. Somebody should take mobile phones off Naomi Campbell. You must get through them like sweets. Amanda Brack filed a one-page claim in a New York court accusing Ms. Campbell, 36, of verbal, physical and emotional attacks. The lawsuit comes as the model, originally from Streatham in South London, tries to negotiate a plea bargain on criminal charges in New York, stemming from an alleged attack on a housekeeper at her Park Avenue home. Just strutting around with other people's clothes on gets you all of this money. Don't you find it incredible? I mean, it's just amazing, isn't it? She's just born with legs that go all the way up to here, and that's £10 million in the bank.
When will she start to look a bit too old for it all?
Well, it's like I said a couple of weeks ago, when I used to live in Clapham North, which was like the front line in those days. I was surrounded, and I used to work in a pub there called the Landor, which was a very dangerous place at the time. Or I thought it was anyway. Well, it was. I came home one night, and all of the windows in this. It's a giant place. All of the windows in the entire pub, on 3 floors, had been smashed in. All of them. And you'd think that there'd be police cars and just like a general hubbub. Not a word. Nothing. It was like a ghost town. You know, you see one of these movies and the bomb has dropped and there's no one around anymore. And that's what it was like. Can you imagine walking in past the place where you work and it was devastated? But no one seemed to be paying any attention. That was the kind of place it was. And the old black guys used to come in. One of the things that they used to say, because how old do you think I am? They used to say, and I'm like, I don't know, 50. He said, no, I'm 70 years old. And they said, black don't crack. Black don't crack. That's what they said. They don't age like we do. So maybe she'll be still doing it when she's 50, if she lives that long. if a housemaid doesn't fight back. Where is he? Miss Brack, 19, was hired by Ms. Campbell in February 2005 after meeting her in a Paris nightclub and helping her to fix a costume malfunction. When was the last time you had a costume malfunction? Never.
Never.
The job quickly turned nasty, the court papers say. The assistant claims that Miss Campbell hit her in the face with a BlackBerry. Not the fruit. An actual mobile phone. Slammed her against the wall and slapped her repeatedly across the face when a piece of luggage got left behind during a trip to Brazil. The supermodel also allegedly threw a mobile phone at Miss Brack's face during a later outburst in a New York flat. During a photo shoot in Morocco, Naomi Campbell became enraged over a forgotten item of clothing and tore up her passport and threw it into the hotel swimming pool. Not her own passport, her assistant's. In the final incident, Naomi Campbell allegedly ripped a sweater that Ms. Brack was wearing off her neck and accused the assistant of stealing it. Her highly publicised troubles with her staff date back to 2000, when she pleaded guilty in a Canadian court to assaulting an assistant who said that she grabbed her by the throat and hit her on the head with a telephone while making a film in Toronto. Shouldn't be laughing, really, but I guess it's amusing in retrospect, not actually while it's happening, especially if it's you. In 2003, the model was sued by another former assistant, Vanessa Frisbee, who accused Ms. Campbell of throwing a phone at her. The following year, a maid was admitted to hospital after coming to blows with the model during an argument over packing a suitcase. Her current criminal assault case in New York stems from accusations that she hurled a mobile phone at a housekeeper, whom she suspected of stealing a pair of jeans. Last month, another maid filed a lawsuit accusing Naomi Campbell of hitting her over the head when she couldn't find a pair of Stella McCartney jeans. I hate when that happens. And then there's another story a couple of days later. Rampaging Naomi Campbell smashed up her lover's brand new yacht after a bust-up with an Italian chef. The supermodel wrecked £30,000 of furniture and fittings because she didn't like his starters or the wine. Fiery Naomi clashed with the chef aboard the £1.5 million yacht on Italy's Tuscan Riviera. She asked him to create a memorable romantic meal for her new lover, Badr Jafar, a Dubai-born prince. And to paraphrase Mrs. Merton, I wonder what she sees in the Dubai-born prince. Huh. But the chef's simple tomato mozzarella and dried ham starter with a local wine failed to impress. Reports say Naomi, already fired up after a row with the photographer, told him where to shove it, and he hit back in colourful Tuscan dialect. Staff on the 100-foot yacht ducked as she lashed out at antiques, light fittings, and the picture they always use is of her about to grab at the camera that's taking the picture in with talon-like claws. She's got a phone in one hand, and she's about to grab either the camera or the face of the person that's taking the photograph. She looks like someone that Aspinall would keep in his zoo. Doesn't she? She looks crazed.
I wouldn't go near if she had a phone in her hand.
No. They ducked as light fittings, china plates and glasses started flying. All hell seemed to break loose. All you could hear was shouting and screaming in English. There was the sound of plates being broken. Some of the crew later said the kitchen was a complete mess and curtains and cushions had been ripped apart. A colleague said that the chef wouldn't have taken insults from Naomi. Naomi's Italian manager could not be contacted. Maybe he was dead. And then again, all this was what I was going to do last week, and she just keeps being newsworthy. Fiery supermodel Naomi Campbell was arrested after allegedly going berserk outside the house of an Arab prince ex. This is why she's an ex, right? Naomi flipped when she turned up at the posh London home of Dubai royal Badr Jafar, demanding some belongings at 3:30 in the morning. The prince, who jilted the 36-year-old this month, with good cause, apparently, was probably a life preservation move. He refused to let her into his house in exclusive Belgravia. Diva Naomi, who has a history of temper tantrums, then allegedly turned the air blue, yelling and swearing and waking neighbours, and they don't take kindly to that in Belgravia. When a police van and car arrived, of course, if you were in like Clapham and someone was screaming and shouting in the street outside, there wouldn't be no police car and van arriving, within seconds of you calling them. But in Belgravia, they're on ready alert. When a police van arrived, Naomi was said to have gone ballistic at the officers, as she was arrested for breach of the peace and driven to a nearby street and ordered to calm down. When she did so, she was de-arrested. Have you ever heard of such a thing? I am de-arresting you. This meant that she was avoiding being taken into custody. De-arrested? What's the paperwork for that like? Police later went back to the prince's house and collected the model's clothes and other belongings. Police did this. What, they're running around doing a PA's job? The cops then handed them over to Naomi at arm's length, then ran. That's why they got those vests, in case they ever meet a supermodel. Oh, blimey, I saw a policeman walking around when it was 100-degree heat and they looked like they were wilting. Because they wear nylon trousers for a start, don't they? Are they nylon or wool? What a nightmare.
I've never tried them.
Huh?
I've never tried
You've
them.
never felt up a policeperson's trousers?
No, I haven't.
They look either like wool or nylon, or a combination of both. And if their thighs are too wide, they'll actually spark electricity as they walk down the street.
Even if they've got talcum powder on?
Yes. One source said of the bus stop it was a very strange time of day to want to collect possessions, but luckily for her, the police team treated her very leniently and sensibly. They should have been using the taser. Instead of banging her up in a cell, they told her to calm down and pull herself together. It's almost like she'd been arrested in Liverpool. Calm down, calm down. As she came to her senses, they de-arrested her. It's the first time I've ever heard of such a thing, and even arranged for her to get home safely. Huh. Now, can you imagine what their reaction would have been if she hadn't been famous or gorgeous? They wouldn't have de-arrested me for screaming and shouting in Belgravia at 3:30 in the morning.
I bet she doesn't know too gorgeous when she's screaming and shouting, though.
I don't know. She's one of these people that just looks fantastic no matter what she's doing. I mean, even in this photograph where she's lunging at the cameraman, she still looks like a model. That's what it's been. That's why she's worth 10 million quid or whatever it is she's got, because she looks fabulous from any angle, even when she's going ballistic. Lucy's not convinced.
I'm not a fan.
Naomi has a long history of cocaine misuse, although she currently claims to be clean, and is defending lawsuits in America by 3 former employees. Huh. There'll be more Naomi news next week, I don't doubt.
Summer me.
Hello, Nick. I just wanted to talk to you quickly about people doing blogs.
Yes, online diaries, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering why you're actually surprised. Because, I mean, people obviously want their opinion heard. I mean, that's why people phone up radio stations to get their opinion across. I do a blog. I do it about 3 times a week, and it's not about every single thing I do in my life. It's about things that happen in the news, and I want to give my take on it. And people read it all the time.
Yeah, but calling a radio station is one thing, because it just takes a couple of minutes of your day. But writing to me, it just takes forever. It's typing, apart from anything else. I hate typing.
Well, it depends how quick you are at typing, really, doesn't it?
2 fingers, stabbing at the buttons. That's how I type. I hate it.
Do you know how many words you can type a minute, roughly?
1. But this is why I can't stand those the MSN chat thing, like for people and Skype. People are forever wanting to get into conversations with you, but it's not conversation, it's typing. I hate it.
Well, that's why most like chat rooms and things like that, they come with microphones now, so it's technically not. Typing's slowly going out as far as having a conversation with someone else.
I'm getting a little handheld computer that can actually produce type from your spoken word. How fantastic is that?
Do you know how accurate it is? Because they usually have a database of a certain amount of words they can use, don't they? I mean, there's a lot of them in the past that have, you have to train them almost to actually understand you.
Listen, I have I'm under no illusion that it will actually work. Believe me.
Oh, do you remember a few weeks ago I phoned you up and told you that there was a MySpace out there about you?
Yes.
There's a second one now.
Oh, great.
There's 2 Nick Abbott MySpaces. They're multiplying.
How do you... 2? What? Nick Abbott at myspace.com.
No,
What is it?
if you go onto myspace.com and you click search, and then you put someone's name in,
Yeah.
and it gives you a list of people under that name, and there's 2 sites there, both with a picture of you.
Right, so what have I been doing lately?
Well, nothing, because one's a fan site, so it's just people like that are fans of yours that...
Oh, they're not pretending to be me.
No, no.
Oh,
Well,
right.
the second one is registered as it's just a picture of you, and that's it. They haven't really... Well, they've done, like, your basic info, like your star sign and stuff, and that's about it for that one. But the other one's like a fan site, and it basically gives a brief, detailed history of what you've done in your life, and then people that are fans of your show that... Well, quite a few people that regularly call into your show have registered as friends to say that, yeah, we're Nick Abbott fans.
But I thought that this MySpace thing was all about teenagers organising sex with each other.
Well, no, it's more a giant advertising thing nowadays. I mean, loads of unsigned bands use it to get heard.
Yeah, well, the Arctic Monkeys famously are supposed to have, unless it's all a big record company conspiracy, and I have my doubts, they're supposed to have, become famous through their... well, first of all, they gave CDs away at gigs, and then these were shared amongst a lot of people illegally on the net.
No,
and
really?
Then, yeah, and then they became millionaires. Yeah, maybe it'll happen to me.
Well, it might do. I mean, if you start using MySpace, you'll get more and more people listening to your show, won't you?
I might actually even get laid. How's that?
Right, I'm done. That's
And
it.
so, how many people read your diary of a week?
Oh, right. So actually, for once, when I actually said I was done, you actually carry on talking. Well, I think I get about 50 views a week.
Well, that's extraordinary.
I've got one friend. I've actually got one friend. She's more a friend of my partner's, but I've got one friend that she actually prints out my pages. And
That's
then reads them
scary.
back.
Okay, when she shows up at the house in a wedding dress, then you'll know you're definitely on the wrong lines.
E97.
We're back! Right, I've got the papers. There's some shocking things in the papers today. I just had a little sneaky peek. You'll be stunned. Oh. You know that tea that you made me earlier on? It's still, my brain is still going... Buzzing, I am. Like, on the surface, I seem calm. In my brain, it's going... Hey, fascinating fact me. Oh!
Next one is... We sleep more deeply when we sleep alone, but when sharing, women sleep more soundly than men.
We sleep more deeply when we're alone, but when sharing, women sleep more...
Women sleep more soundly than men.
Soundly than men.
Would
Right,
you have
because-
expected that?
No.
No.
Women sleep more sound... You mean, so women will sleep through thunderstorms and
Yeah, if they're-
burglaries and so on, but
If
men
someone
will
else
be...
is in the bed.
Right.
But I would have thought that men would be the ones to sleep through everything, and it would be the women who jump
Yes,
up
that's
in
what
the
I
air.
would have thought, yeah.
Yeah.
Because the men are doing all the snoring for a start.
Absolutely. Always with the mouth open.
Well, that's how you
find.
snore.
Oh, and then the dribbling starts.
Oh, that's
It's
nice.
disgusting.
It's a little peek into Lucy's home life there.
Sorry.
It's a little more information than we required.
Sleep with a man, sleep with a gorilla.
Right, let's take this one because he's been waiting a dog's age. Adrian.
Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate.
Yeah, you was on about typing before, and do you ever get your car insurance off the internet at all?
Well, yes and no. And I hope that that's clear. I look it up on the internet, and then I have to speak to an actual person because I'm in show business, you see, and most insurance companies won't touch us because we're bad risks, apparently.
That's what I was going to ask you, because every time I've been, you just keep typing in different sites, just on the desperate hope to get a bit cheaper, and nearly every one it like comes up warning. Do you work in the media industry,
Yeah.
radio, TV, etc.?
And that only they only warn you after you've been filling out this form for the last half an hour. Which is why I insist on speaking to someone, because that's the first question I'm going to ask them. Do you mind if I'm in show business?
Well, it costs you more if you do that. That's the only reason why, as painful and crap as it is, you just keep going for it because you know you save more online than if you phone somebody.
Well, there's... Yeah. Yes, but you can negotiate them to give you the same deal that you would have got had you filled it out, because it's the same company, right? That's what I did last time.
Right.
So, well, I could fill this out on the air, online, but you do it for me and still give me 10% discount. And they agreed. Hurrah! One for the customer.
But, I mean, sometimes you type it all in and they say, sorry, we're busy at the moment.
Oh, yeah, and you have to go... And you go back, you hit the back button, and then all of the stuff that you filled in is gone, and you have to start from the beginning, and it just makes you want to pull your teeth out.
It makes me laugh when you put your name and you get registered, and they ask you, are you male or female?
Well, which is it?
The ultimate option says don't know.
I'll wait if you want to check.
Yeah. Oh, but and with the weather as well, in my car it's convertible, but I do drive with the air conditioner when it's really hot. As stupid as that sounds.
You have a convertible car?
Yeah.
Listen to him with his fancy mode of transport. A convertible, eh?
Well, everybody calls it a girl's car.
What is it?
It's Audi TT.
This guy works in a biscuit factory. He's got a fancier car than I have. A convertible Audi TT?
It's, you got to treat yourself sometime, haven't you?
I'm stunned. Is an Audi TT a girl's car, Liz?
Well, I'd like to have one, but I don't consider it a girl's car.
What about you, Clive?
I would say it is a girl's car, yeah, especially a convertible one.
Well, a convertible is like, it's a little bit borderline. However, I bet it's a nice drive, and
a nice ride.
It's not as girly as, say, a pink convertible Volkswagen Beetle.
No. I did see one in my area that was pink, which really didn't suit it at all.
You know, Jordan, was it Jordan? She was on one of those, I think it was Top Gear, and she said she was going to get a new DB9, Aston Martin DB9, the most beautiful car that's ever been produced. And what's his name? Jeremy Clarkson says, oh, you can get that in any colour you like. And she says, oh, I'm going to have it in pink. I thought, oh, my God, this is worse than Wayne Rooney having one.
Yeah. But, I mean, the actual one outfit was banned by the EEC. They had to de-restrict the brake horsepower on it.
They had to de-restrict it?
Yeah, it's 225... I'm going to sound a bit like Jeremy Clarkson now, but it's 225 bhp and had to de-restrict to 190 because of the EEC.
See, now I'm lost there. I've got no idea about BHP, and I've got no clue what any of that means. It's fast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I understand that. I've only ever driven one car. I've only ever owned one car. I passed my test when I was 16. Can you pass your test when you're 16? Virtually the day after I was able to do it, I did it.
17, isn't
Passed
it?
first time. And, is he gone?
He just popped up.
I think his mobile reception
right.
went.
Good.
He just dropped off.
Oh, well, what a
Maybe he
pity.
just got bored. I
Never
don't know.
mind. Yes, I passed when I was 17, 16, 17, and virtually exploded right there in the car. And then the first car I owned was when I was 40... How old am I now? 42. I've still got my first car. It's sitting outside, waiting for me expectantly. Oh, little thing. Isn't that pathetic?
Yep.
It is a little bit, isn't it?
So did you not drive up until you got your car?
Only on holiday when I hired a car.
What, and just use public transport the rest of the time?
Yeah, the tube. And the bus. I like Mrs. Thatcher. She said, what a nice lady Mrs. Thatcher was. She said that anyone using the bus who's over the age of 30 is a loser. That's what she said. Is a loser in life. I think that was the phrase. What a nice lady.
I don't think you liked my last fact very much, did you?
No.
No.
Give it another one.
Okay. The London Borough of Westminster has an average of 20 pieces of chewing gum for every square metre of pavement.
Okay, this really irritates me. Chewing gum. I've got something about this. One moment, please. Camden, like most London boroughs, is fighting an increasingly intensive battle against the scourge of gum on the streets and is searching for new ways to stop people littering. It costs millions to remove gum from pavements, and unsightly pockmarks remain even after it's blasted off by high-pressure hoses. The worst areas are around stations and bus stops where people gather to drink coffee, smoke or wait for friends. A Camden spokesman said gum is a focused problem around transport interchanges and high streets in Camden. People don't think twice about taking something out of their mouth and throwing it on the street. I don't understand that. I just don't get it. I mean, you know, when I lived in Luxembourg for 6 months, you don't notice the gum until you go somewhere else and then you come back. And in Luxembourg, there is no gum on the streets at all. It must be like streets in Singapore where gum is illegal. They'll shoot you if you chew gum over there. And
You're
I came
not
back
allowed to buy it, are you? Then? You
no,
can't even buy it.
That's right. And I came back here from cleanest Luxembourg, and I thought, what is all that? It looks like the street's got a skin disease. It's everywhere. And I used to live near a school, and there was a pizza shop just around the corner. And the concentration of gum outside this pizza shop, as the kids came out of the school and went in to get their slices of lunch, they were so concentrated that you couldn't see the pavement underneath the gum. It was vile. You know, we should get miscreants, hooded miscreants, with a little knife out of their own kitchen drawer to scrape the gum off the streets, and they should be wearing bright orange clothing while they do it. How do you like the sound of that?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Get Reed on the case. One idea environment officers in the borough are considering is introducing bins invented by manufacturer Gumcatcher, small but eye-catching receptacles that can be attached to trees or lampposts to encourage people to dispose of their gum responsibly. Why? Why even bother? There are bins and people don't use them.
What about when people put it in the gutter?
What do you mean?
Well, not put it on the pavement, but just stick it in the side bit, just where you drive. Does that matter?
Yeah, put it in the bin, you idiots. It comes in wrapping. I guess most of them actually don't.
They don't know, do they?
Yeah, the Wrigley's, whatever they call it. You know, that's the biggest selling sweet product, fast-moving consumer good in the country.
Really?
Yeah, it's bigger than Kit Kat and Mars bars and all of that. More of those get sold than anything else. And it all ends up underneath your feet. According to Gumcatcher, 92% of paving stones have gum stuck on them. 92%, that's almost every single one in the country.
It's gum disease.
It would take 17 weeks to remove all the gum from Oxford Street alone. 17 weeks! Here's one in Kensington. Hello, Marlene.
Hello?
Marlene.
Oh, hello. How are you?
I'm all right, thanks. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. No, I've been listening to you all evening, and one of your callers called about the humidity, and he said, well, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, getting very sticky.
Pardon me?
Getting very sticky.
Yes, well, what I've been doing for years, this is no joke, this is serious, because it's very uncomfortable, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what I do is, you take a wet towel, almost the size of a bath towel, if you like, you wet it, right? And you don't have it dripping, you squeeze it out, and just have it wet. And you can either rest it in the back of a chair or in the room you're sleeping in, like a dining chair or something, or radiator or something. And you would be surprised to know how it takes the humidity away from you. I don't know whether it's anything to do with drying. The humidity seems to go to I know it sounds ridiculous, but I've been doing it for years.
So you're telling me a wet towel in the room makes it less humid?
Yeah, I use a towel because you can use anything that's wet, but the towel is thicker and it will last through the night. And you notice by next morning the towel is dry, I have been doing this for a long time. All my friends do it,
And where did you get this from?
Funny enough, I just thought of it out of the blue a few years ago. I didn't have fans and all that. Even though I've got fans, I still do that because then I sleep right through the night, and you have a real good night's sleep. I don't get up. And seriously, it really works. I don't think it's funny to ring your program and make a joke. Because, no, it's not fun. No, it really works.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Marlene, I'll try it, and then I'll report back next week. How's that?
Yeah, listen to me. I phoned Clive, what's his name, Bull, about
Yeah,
2 weeks
Clive,
ago.
what's his name, yeah. He's very good.
Yeah, and I mentioned this to him, and 2 callers later, a male called, like Clive Bull's, called Clive Bull, and he said that when I called, what I said is true, because he does it as well. And sometimes he even uses a fan, but you don't have to use a fan. But
So we're getting second-hand information from Clive Bull's show. You couldn't have called me
sorry, I have
first.
to say this because I sometimes call Clive Bull, you know, and I usually am asleep by now. But I thought
Me too.
when
Yes.
the fellow phoned you just now, I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. There are a lot of people out there in this humid atmosphere, and it's very uncomfortable. They've got breathing problems and all. And a simple thing like this works.
Well,
I'm going to call you up and mention it.
all right. Well, listen. Thanks a lot, Marlene. I'll give it a go.
Yes. By the way, can I just ask you something, please?
And another thing.
When you said Marlene just now, you said Kensington.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I am in Kensington, but when I call Clive Bull, he says Kennington, and he says that some nonsense about when I phone, what it says Kennington.
Can you please direct your complaints about Clive Bull's show?
No, I'm not making complaints.
to Clive
I want to know
Bull.
what's going on.
I've got no idea what's going on. I can barely keep up with this show, let alone his. But anyway, thanks a lot, Marlene.
I hope I've helped a few people.
You certainly have, or not, as the case may be. Ta-da!
Nice talking to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, we'll give it a go, eh? Are we beginning to help people on this show?
Now, you don't have to worry about...
Right then, the papers have arrived. Let's go through them briefly. The Sunday Express says, Diana, publish and be damned. Death probe chief urged to reveal his findings. Lord Stevens was under pressure last night to make public immediately his report into Princess... All this seems to be a little suspicious, doesn't it? Like he's walked out now and he's not going to be taking part in it anymore. Is that correct? Because he unseen pressures or pressures of work or something like that. And wasn't he the chap whose laptop was nicked? Where just as he was busy investigating it all, somebody rather suspiciously nicked the laptop that all the information was on. Huh. How coincidental. I'm smelling something that shouldn't oughta, you know? It's just very suspicious, don't you think? Like something's being hidden.
Does anyone care anymore?
Yes, of course they do. How can you say that?
Well...
She was the Queen of Hearts.
I know, but, you know, it has passed now, hasn't it? And I think, can't we leave it to rest?
Well, no. I mean, if a government organisation killed her, I think I'd like to know. Even in 50 years' time, I'd like to know.
Do you think that'll come out, though?
Well, some things do, and some things forever remain secret. We'll find out. Or not, as the case may be. The Telegraph, Chav's favourite Blair gift to Bush. This is this jumper thing that I was talking about earlier, and I was keen to know what the details are, and here it is on the front page of the Telegraph. George W. showed himself master of street slang at the G8 summit with his now famous greeting, Yo Blair. I mean, that just seems rude, doesn't it? Yo Tone would be more appropriate, because they know each other, right? But Yo Blair. And Tony rushed to his side and said, Yes, Mr. Bush. And the arrogance of the man, I mean, he's just a dope. He's sitting there stuffing his mouth with bread while Tony's eagerly hovering over his shoulder, waiting for his every word, and Bush is just talking to him with his mouth full of bread. Yo, Blair. It's just incredible. The gift that Tony Blair chose personally for the US president turns to have come from the preferred fashion house of Chavs. The sweater referred to in an off-the-record exchange between the two leaders was, according to sources, from Burberry. Huh. Essex favourite. They must be furious at Burberry, by the way. They've spent all these millions and millions of pounds turning the this once moribund fashion label around. And it was a tremendous success, because previously only Japanese tourists were buying Burberry, right? No one was seen dead in Burberry in this country, and they turned it around, and suddenly it was the fashion choice of the moment, and then suddenly everyone in Essex was wearing Burberry caps, and now nobody wants to touch it anymore. It's like Cristal Champagne, Monsieur what's-his-name, recently came back and said he doesn't want rap stars talking about his Cristal Champagne anymore. And then Sean Puffy Combs, he said, right, well, I'm not going to mention your champagne anymore, and my bars are going to be stocking Louis Roederer or whatever it was, and he's having a hissy fit. Is it 'cause I am black, he said. Something comical like that. No, it's not, mate. It's just that he doesn't want Cristal Champagne, which costs 200 quid a bottle, to be thought of as being bought by guys who wear guns and arrive in jeeps that on tyres that make it look like it's 2 floors high. You know, it's just not the image that you want, is it? Doesn't want it being bought in bars by men who call their lady friends hoes. The Daily Mail, they're appalled about something or other. Can't be bothered. Life's too short. Sunday Telegraph, one government story of incompetence after the other. The Bishop of London has declared it sinful for people to contribute to climate change by flying.
Like me going to Guernsey.
Exactly. Not only can you not fly, but you can't drive a car or fail to use energy-saving measures in the home. Now, I'm confused about religion in general, right? Because as a country, we've chosen not to be religious. We don't go to church. We don't read the Bible. We're agnostic or atheist, right? As a rule, we don't go to church. You go to a church on a Sunday morning, and the only bloke there is the chap who's reading out stuff from the pulpit, and a couple of old dears who've fallen asleep at the front. So why is why is it front page news when somebody from the church says something? I mean, as a nation we've decided that we're not interested in what they're saying, haven't we? If we were, we'd go and hear them, but we don't. So why do they still report it like we're interested in? That's always been confusing to me. I don't get it.
Implies they're great thinkers.
Well, no, it implies that what they say is of importance to the rest of us, and it just flat out isn't, because and the proof is that we don't go and listen to them in the first place. Anyway, the peephole. It's a little early in going through the newspapers to go straight to the peephole, but I'll do it now.
You've peeped.
I know. Corrie Mike affair with Toy Girl. Now, sometimes you read what's on the front page and you think, well, actually, is it true? Is this one of the stories that they're going to print a minute apology 3 weeks later and give them £100,000 in an out-of-court settlement? And we'll get roped into it as well, because I was foolish enough to read out the front page of the peephole. But this is what it says. It's all about sex on the front page. I now declare you aunt and wife. That bloke with an alarmingly large forehead has married a homely-looking lass. Actually, they look like they've just popped out the same egg. They're identical. I guess it must be love. A story about Bex. He's wearing sunglasses. Front page news. Noel has axed his lover, or some such thing. But Corrie Mike affair with Toy Girl. He dates brunette, 41 years younger. Good for you, mate. Sunday Mirror. Posh and Vex, the Love Boat. Amazing pictures of 2 people sitting down. Front page news of the Daily Mirror. And a free DVD of a cartoon that looks like it was drawn by a child. Well, that would be worth buying. The Star is giving away a free Fatboy Slim video. Who wants to see that bloke? Not even Zoe Ball wants to see a free Fatboy Slim video. Save Pete on the front page of the Star. Shock as BB favourite faces chop. No! He is the only one in the house now that's worth watching. They've got rid of every... I don't know who's doing the voting on this show, but they're idiots. Whoever is voting these people out are... I think it's ITV. ITV must be renting 1,000 phones and 1,000 people to man them, and every time that anybody comes up for the chop, because they're getting killed in the ratings, ITV, they've got nothing to put up against it, And so they just want all of the people who are interesting out. I mean, it's a bit suspicious that all of the characters, all of the people who are actually funny that make the programme worth watching are being dismissed from it by the people who are watching the programme. I don't really get it. And now they're going to chuck Pete out? No! Don't do it! Ah! News of the World. It's about Boy George. I mean, not Boy George, the other George. George Michael. George in new sex shame. Huh. And there's a picture of him there, with his shirt unbuttoned to an alarming degree. And he's got a mobile phone. Story and pictures on page 4 and 5. On the prowl. He's walking in the foliage. Well, I'll better leave that there, eh? How long have we got? 29:15. Women drinkers told to wear nice pants. Are you ready for this? A police magazine is advising women planning a drunken night out to ensure they had waxed and were wearing nice pants in case they collapsed. Are you listening to this, Luce?
I am indeed.
Suffolk Police's Safe magazine carries a reminder for readers intent on getting ratted, alongside a picture of a scantily clad woman on the floor with a caption, "If you've got it, don't flaunt it." It reads, this is the Police magazine, right? "If you fall over or pass out, remember your skirt or dress may ride up. You could show off more than you intended. For all our sakes, please make sure you're wearing nice pants and that you've recently had a wax." In the Police magazine. Better still, eat before you go out. Think about how much you're drinking, pace yourself and drink plenty of water in between bevies, or better still, don't get in this sorry state, it's not nice. Huh. The police are very upset about people are very upset about that. How dare the police and so on and so forth. But you know what? They're quite right. Don't get in the state in the first place, and then people won't be able to see your pants. Or just the one person will be able to see your pants because you won't look so horrible that no one will want to pick you up. And the man of your dreams, Prince Jafar Hadr himself, will be personally expecting your underwear. Fascinating fact me.
Okay, your next one. The energy used to build an average Victorian terraced house would be enough to send a car around the Earth 5 times, says English Heritage.
Right.
Say right like that.
Why would they work?
Quite interesting.
Why would they work something like that out? What would be the point of that?
Well, I don't know, but I thought, my goodness, that's
They've got
incredible.
a lot of time on their hands to English Heritage. They've dusted off a couple of plates, and then they're just looking at the cobwebs, and they've got nothing else to do.
But think of all the people that are sitting in their Victorian houses thinking about that.
I bet they're not. They're thinking, where's that draft coming from?
Oh.
Let's have Greenwich. Hey, Luke.
Hey there, how's it going?
All right, thanks.
I heard your Cristal comment.
Yeah.
£200 a bottle.
Something like that.
Something like that. And, you know, how do these people get the money to afford that? And it's, you know, how does anybody get the money to afford Cristal in a reasonable way?
Well, you know, you drive through posh parts of town, and the money is just pouring out of the brickwork. You to walk in the door of anywhere in Kensington, Chelsea, Belgravia, Mayfair, any of this, but you've got to have £1 million. And not only have they got £1 million, but they've got a Bentley and an Aston Martin parked in the driveway, and a nanny's flat, and who are all these people?
That's right. And do you think that they do nice things?
No, you don't become rich by being nice.
That's kind of my point. You know, so I think it's a bit shady, you know, to put down drug dealers and the mafia and things, when in fact we have lots of people here already who are far worse, and yet that's okay.
Yes, to become rich, you basically have to stomp on the hopes and dreams of everyone who comes your way. No one who's a millionaire, particularly no one who's a billionaire, could be described by anyone as a nice person. They don't become that rich by doing good deeds. They become that rich by stomping on people who get in their way. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you think their wives ever go out with not the right pants in case they fall over?
I'm sure some of their wives go out with no pants at all. They're rich, they can, afford to get to private health care
Perhaps they have two
where they
pairs
won't be
of pants.
concerned with that sort of thing.
Sorry.
They'll have pant wranglers who follow them at a pace of 10 yards, and in case they get knocked over, they'll quickly slip on a pair to cover up any embarrassment.
That's rather amusing.
Rather? What, on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'd say that was a good 7, actually.
It's a good 7.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, thanks a lot, Luke. That's I'll take that as a positive. Here's Electric Parade.
Hi, Nick.
Tallulah.
Yeah, hi.
What's up, Tallulah?
Oh, well, I want to educate you.
Educate me.
Yeah, in the matter of MySpace,
Yes.
because it might have started with kids, but now I don't even know how it started. But I think it's absolutely brilliant for the right people.
In what sense?
Well, some people take the mickey, I do actually have to say it again. Because on LBC, nobody was talking about MySpace until I mentioned it on the Clive Bull show. And then Ian Lee took it over and made a whole farce out of it because they just used it to muck about. Where I was told to use it was for promoting my music and to get somewhere. And meanwhile,
get somewhere?
Yeah, I know. It's a good question. But exactly from that point of view, it helped me even more because now people know that I do have two brothers. So, and from my point of view, it's heaven, absolute heaven on this earth.
MySpace?
Yeah.
Typing to people that you're not going to actually have sex with?
No, I type to a few that seem to be very genuine, but altogether, no. It's just my music is on there. They say what they like. They say what they don't like. I take it off, put new stuff on.
So what kind of music do you produce there, Tallulah?
Rock.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, rock and roll. Ex-keyboard of a band called Viva, and now I play guitar. And,
Hey, I played UFO the other day.
Oh, did you?
I played the Michael Schenker group the other day.
Did you play Dr. Doctor?
I can't remember what it was. Whatever came up next on the list. I've got no idea. Can't remember back that far. I can barely remember what I did last hour.
Well, but anyway, MySpace is up to my rescue.
All right, Tallulah, so what's your MySpace address or name or whatever you call it?
MySpace, Schenker's sister.
Schenker's sister.
Yeah.
Spelled Schenker.
Exactly. Double S in the middle, because it's the beginning of S. Schenker's.
All right, okay. ERSSISTER. MISSISSIPPI, yeah. All right, well, everyone should go to it and post naked pictures, and she'll select the one that she likes, and it's probably not going to happen.
But I don't like cars either.
You don't like what?
Cars.
Cars?
I can't stand cars.
How did you get to that from what I just said?
Oh, because if you have a good imagination, you just can go wherever
You
you
fly everywhere, yeah. Here, there, and everywhere, baby.
Yeah,
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby.
Yeah. Have you ever tried a scooter?
A scooter?
Yeah.
No, I prefer to be driven around in a metal cage.
Okay, then. In a metal cage. That's
Yeah.
cool.
You know, if I bash into something, I want to have some remote chance of coming off best, you know? A tank would be my preferred mode of transport, but you're not allowed.
With a cannon.
Well, with or without, yeah, I guess so, with a cannon, yeah, in case of emergencies.
To shoot out all your announcements.
Yeah.
To battle against those guys in...
The last guy who called, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then, good luck.
Ta-da!
Ta-ra.
This is LBC. I'm going to test you in a moment. Shall I test you before or after the ads? I'll do it after. Here's one in Bracknell. Hello, Joseph.
Hello, Nick. How you doing?
I'm all right.
You were talking about MySpace earlier, and now we just had Tallulah on as well.
Yeah.
I was calling about the same thing. You had the fellow on a half hour ago said he writes a blog, he gets 50 people a week viewing his. I get over 500 a week viewing mine.
Okay, so what's so special about yours?
Well, I don't know what is special about it, but I write, it's not, I don't use it as a diary. I mean, some people do, but I write reviews of TV shows, radio presenters, musical artists, films, discussion of slice of life and different humorous stories.
Hey, Lucy, I hope that you buttered this guy up. He's a critic.
Yeah. In fact, the last time I spoke to you, a few weeks ago, I wrote a blog about you.
Huh. And what did it say?
Well,
no, don't tell me.
I praised you for coming out opposing prohibition of drugs, which I thought was good.
Well, actually, there's a story that I'm not so sure. A village bobby giving a speech on youth disorder unexpectedly had to put his words into action when he spotted cannabis plants being carried past the window. PC John was talking to parish council members in Northumberland when he saw the familiar foliage. He abandoned the talk and raced outside to apprehend the youths in question. He then returned to the meeting carrying the plants and continued his speech. There's a policeman giving a speech about law and order to a parish council members, and some hoodies are carrying gigantic plants of cannabis past the window where he's... Well, why do you think they call it dope? Idiots.
Well, I agreed with your position on ending the war on drugs.
But don't you think it's bizarre that you write what you've been doing and what you think about TV programs, and 500 people are interested in what you write? I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. It's just weird, don't you think?
It doesn't mean it's 500 people. I mean, because some of them read it every day. So it's 500 views a week. It might be, for example, if someone reads it every day, that's one person reading it 7 times a week, or however many times. Sometimes I write more than one a day.
Well, listen, if it was like radio, one person listening, reading it 7 times a week would be translated as 7 people, and a 700% increase on last week.
Well, I keep promoting it and adding friends on MySpace, and then it helps get me more readers, and talking on radio shows like yourselves.
But don't you think? I mean, just the whole concept is bizarre, because 5 years ago, none of this existed. 10 years ago, the internet was nascent, and not many people had it. 20 years ago, it was science fiction. It's just going on so fast, and it's all being clogged up by people who are writing their innermost thoughts, and people are reading it. It's just the whole concept of it is weird to me.
It's interesting you mentioned science fiction, because I remember reading a science fiction novel back about 10, 15 years ago that portrayed a future with things like hundreds of channels of television like you have with Sky and internet access where everyone could communicate with everyone else on the earth. So it's great because a lot of people write, the people who write political commentary, they write creative writing, poetry, there's all kinds of stuff. It's like allowing individuals to publish their own magazines.
You know what, that is something that is going to happen more and more, and I think that the media companies that we know now, the ones that actually run everything, the publishers, the radio companies, the television companies, are all potentially about to be totally turned over by individuals. Ricky Gervais is not. I think his podcast is particularly amusing. I tried it a couple of times and I thought, it's okay. But he's the first person in this country who's actually gone around the company, the radio business, and he's produced his own material and sold it directly to the customers. And that has got to be something for the future. People who have a name aren't going to have to knock on people's doors anymore. They're just going to sell it directly to the public. Same with music. That started to happen already, and it certainly is going to get bigger and bigger. And publishing will be the same. When people start being used to reading books online, on screens that they'll just carry around with them all the time, then bookshops are going to go out of business, so will publishers, because authors, well-known authors, will be able to sell directly to their readership, and thereby make 10 times more money.
Yeah, well, just like you mentioned with the music, that's already very big on MySpace. I now have a feature where I select an artist every week as my artist of the week, and I link one of their songs to my profile so people can listen to it, and I write a commentary on them. So, it's all feeding into each other.
Try the new Muse album. It's very, very good.
Okay.
All right. Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Nick.
Ta-da. That's cross-pollination or cross-promotion or something like that. For every Muse record that's sold, from now on, I'll get £1. I can't wait. This is LBC 97.3. Right, I'm going to check whether Lucy is an actual up-to-date woman or not in just a minute. But here's a survey that was in More magazine. What's that?
It's a teenage girls magazine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because they asked teenage girls then who their female role models are. Who do you think was number one?
Kylie.
Kylie? That's an excellent answer. No, but thanks for playing. 20-something girls are living the wag's dream and spending money like water, reasoning that high house prices make the idea of saving for a home futile, says the survey. They're not saving for a home and they're not saving for a pension, and they're just spending it all on, I don't know.
Looking good.
Yeah. Like the wags, footballers' wives and girlfriends, who stormed boutiques in Baden-Baden during the World Cup tournament, spending €80,000 in 1 hour. Did they? Like, they don't have enough clothes already. What were the shops in Baden-Baden so great? That's ridiculous. I bet they were egged on to do it. Because they probably don't all get together at once in the same time. And so they were probably competing to outspend each other. I bet that's exactly what they were doing. So they all got together and compared busts and hairstyles and makeup. Because they probably all hate each other deeply, don't they? Because they're all in competition to get press coverage, because they don't do anything, do they? They get to have sex with a footballer, which, in some instances, must be an onerous task. And then to compensate, they get to go out shopping. Stop holding your head in your hands. It's true. And so they go out and they buy a nice bag after, being treated like one. Awful lifestyle. And so they all got together at once and they got drunk and they went out shopping. And so it'd be competitive shopping. Oh, well, that's a nice bag. It only costs 10 grand. I'll buy that. And the other said, oh, well, I have two. It just must have been like that. €80,000 in 1 hour. That's just obscene. On stuff that they don't need and probably will never wear. Anyway, in a survey by More magazine, 8 out of 10 women aged 21 to 25, who, according to Lucy, shouldn't even have been reading the magazine in the first place.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised at that.
Said that their role models are not Condoleezza Rice, the US Secretary of State, the world's only imprisoned Nobel Peace Prize winner, or even J.K. Rowling. Most regard, do you want a second guess?
Victoria Beckham.
Is the right answer. Most regard Victoria Beckham, recently photographed on the ski slopes with £8,000 of designer gear, and she didn't even do any skiing, as their most admired women of the 21st century. Victoria Beckham was first, Kylie Minogue was second, so that's a pretty good pair of guesses there. Jennifer Aniston was third, guess who's fourth?
Angelina Jolie.
No. Angelina Jolie is eighth.
Colleen McLaughlin.
You're right on the money with this. Colleen McLaughlin is ninth.
So who am I guessing fourth?
You just get. I've got 10 here. So far, you've got almost. You haven't had a guess wrong so far.
I guess there's got to be more. Oh, what about Cheryl Tweedy?
Who's that?
She's in Girls Aloud, and she's just married.
Who cares?
But I bet she's in it, isn't she?
She isn't.
Oh.
But another woman is.
Shania Twain.
No, too old.
Chantel.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh.
Remind us who that is.
She was in Big Brother.
Right.
Big Brother.
A Big Brother contestant.
Long blonde hair. And she went out with one of them.
Preston.
Oh, right, that woman.
I think they're married or engaged or something.
She is the 10th most popular role model of women aged 21 to 25. Not even 13-year-old girls. 21 to 25. They think Chantel. They voted for her in great numbers as people who thought, that's my role model. Are we stunned yet?
Yeah.
Then there was Angelina Jolie. You got that one right. Christina Agalagalag,
Oh, right, yeah.
the one who dresses like a stripper.
She doesn't anymore.
Doesn't she?
Oh, no.
Oh,
she's
she's
quite refined
demure.
now. She's
Oh,
got married
well,
and
should have
she's
said.
cleaned up her act.
I bet she has, yeah. Jordan, number 4.
Oh, really?
This is stunning, isn't it? So basically, it's not just teenage girls who their desire in life is to be famous. It's women, grown-ups.
I bet Paris Hilton's in that as
No.
well, is she? No?
There's one left. And if you guess it, I will give you... Have you read this story yet?
No.
I'll give you... How much money would it be reasonable to give you?
I'm not
you
going to be allowed a clue then, am I?
Because you could have got it right, but then you could have read this already, but be telling me you hadn't.
I haven't. I don't read more
That's a
magazine.
very devious thing for you to do.
I wouldn't be so devious.
I'll give you 50 quid. How's that?
Does that mean no clue, though?
Of course no clue. I'm not insane.
How long do I have? I'm going to say it now.
Until the break. We've got Victoria Beckham, Kylie Minogue, Jennifer Aniston, Jordan, Madonna. That's one that we haven't had yet. Madonna.
But that wasn't the one.
No. Christina Agalagalag, Angelina Jolie,
Oh, I've thought of another.
Colleen McLaughlin, and Chantel.
I've got one.
Okay, for £50.
Charlotte Church.
No!
Oh!
But thanks for playing. I'll give you one more guess. It's only fair. And then I will quiz you as to whether you're an
generous.
actual, proper woman of today. These are women aged 21 to 25 voted for their role models, right? These are grown-ups. And Jordan was 4th. I mean, Jordan is famous for getting her boobs out, right? And that's it. Name me one other thing that Jordan has done. She's had a book ghostwritten for her. Or maybe she wrote it herself.
Actually, she's had 2 autobiographies.
Right, amazing. I woke up and got my boobs out. Chapter 2.
Well, the second book's all about meeting Pete.
Meeting Pete?
Peter Andre.
Oh, Struth. The orange bloke. Right. I literally can wait to read that book. So I'll read it one more time. You can have one guess for 50 quid, which I'll have to bring in next week because I haven't got it on me. Victoria Beckham, Kylie Minogue, Jennifer Aniston, Jordan, Madonna, Christina Agalagalag, Angelina Jolie, Colleen McLaughlin and Chantel. And the clue that I'll give you was that she came 5th in this list of role models that women of 21 to 25 said in More magazine. Have a wild stab in the dark.
Okay, I don't think this is right, though. Lady Victoria Harvey?
No. My money is safe. The real answer is Anne Widdecombe.
What?
So I feel like I've made an extra 50 quid. Anne Widdecombe was in that list. Can you believe it?
I'd never have guessed that, obviously.
Amazing. Right, fascinating fact me.
Final fact, while it's an offence to drop litter on the pavement, it's not an offence to throw it over someone's garden wall.
Why?
I don't know. Isn't that ludicrous?
It's not an offence to throw it...
So effectively, does that mean I could just ditch all our rubbish next door and it would be okay?
Well, for everyone, apart from the people who live next door.
And then what if somebody ditched it in your garden? Could I not, well, in, say, my garden, could I not make a complaint? No.
To an arresting officer who would probably arrest you for abusing their human rights to dump rubbish in your garden.
But it's wrong. You can't ditch junk mail, can you? Or mail that's addressed to somebody else in a bin.
In a bin, yeah. Isn't that bizarre? Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
The amount of emails I get every day is just absolutely obscene. You know, if my parents were connected to the World Wide Web, I'd be appalled on their behalf at the emails that come in. Because, I mean, it takes a bit to shock me. But I must get 30 to 40 emails a day, which are all about Cialis soft tabs. What is that?
What?
It's not Cialis soft tabs. It's probably not how you pronounce it, but that's what it looks like.
Soft tabs?
Tablets.
Tabs. Oh, right.
I think it's for erectile dysfunction.
Yes, I haven't been sent those.
Do you?
I haven't been sent those.
Shut up. Do you have? Do you measure up? That's another one. I'm married, but I want to have sex with you. That's another. Busty women are eager to fondle your parts.
No.
It's just at least 40 a day come in with that
I'm really missing
stuff.
out here. Mine's simply things like, would you like to buy some more wine? Would you like to spend some more money buying DIY stuff?
Well, I
Boring.
wish I got stuff like that. I'm
Do you?
appalled on a daily basis at the stuff that I get.
Hmm.
Right, going up, going down. This is a list that will determine whether you are a woman of the moment. You ready?
Okay.
Because so far, your performance has been appalling.
I think it was pretty strong, actually, tonight.
Awful. Rubbish. Absolutely terrible.
Dreadful.
That's what I said. Justin Timberlake, up or down?
Down.
Why would you say that?
Just think so. Saddest moment.
The bob, as in the haircut.
Definitely down.
Why would you say so?
It's just not in anymore. It's much more kind of feathery, out, less kind of straightened hair, that kind of thing.
Luxury tree houses.
Up?
Flip-flops.
Up.
Really? You like flip-flops?
I think they're always going up these days for women, and you can get many more fashionable, pretty ones. So.
It's got to be the silliest item of footwear ever.
Oh, I think they're
It
great.
clacks when
the
you
only
walk,
trouble
apart
with them
from
is
anything
you
else.
can't drive in them. That's what's annoying.
Or walk, or run. They look good as long as you keep them on the shelf, yeah. Boys' jewellery on girls.
Down, I hope.
www.pimpthatsnack.com. It's student recipes online.
Well, up.
You'd have to guess, wouldn't you? Because
Yeah.
it's like a brand, so they're mostly up. Yeah. G-strings.
Down.
Not a fan?
Well, I am a fan. Well, sort of am a fan, but there's been quite a lot of reports recently about how they affect women's fertility, so I'm...
Oh, I don't wish to
and
know.
girls quite like wearing these kind of boy pants, so I'll say down.
Living alone.
Up.
Imported organic fruit.
Up.
Devil Woman by Cliff Richard, which is a perfume.
Down.
Right. Okay, Devil Woman by Cliff Richard. New fruity perfume from Sir Cliff. Yeah, I think they're saying. Can you imagine? Who would
That's
want
an
to
obvious
smell
one.
like Cliff? Yeah. Imported organic fruit, you said up, it's down. Sun shining in Britain. Why do we need strawberries from 2,000 miles away? Living alone is down, you said up. It doubles your risk of heart disease, apparently.
Oh.
G-strings, you said down. That's right, down. Police advising girls to wear nice knickers when on the PI bleep bleep.
When drinking.
Flip-flops, down. You said up. Luxury tree houses are up, that's correct. Boys, jewellery on girls, that's right. You failed, I think, most of that.
FM. On DAB.